see what's going on. CNBC. Check the news real quick, see if there's anything going on. Open higher, 2 representing session. Wow, so yeah, all the indices are up except NASDAQ. Pull up the news real quick. CNBC. Wow. Tesla's going crazy. All right, let me post this on social media, guys. Once I have all this set up, we can get started. Here we go. Market just opened. All right, I'll post this link up to the Telegram real quick, guys. They said there was some news out, but it's not clear that it was news. Send this up here. Now, yesterday there was a press release out from Onscape that said their newly released results based on testing of single-layer battery cells shows that solid-state separators are capable of working at very high rates of power, enabling a 15-minute charge. Indices. All right, I'll post this on Facebook. They said the same. The heck? Why is Facebook is asking if I want to fact check my post for the video? It's so weird. Okay, let me send this to everyone over here as well. All right, guys, I'm just going to finish up wrapping up this, posting the link to all of our social media, and then we can get started, guys. We got about, let's see, 6:36. Let me pull up US 30 real quick. I'm surprised it broke the all-time high right here, guys. It's been like messing around this middle area. So I'm going to go and reanalyze that before we get started. But let me just post up the links for this webinar before we get started, guys, so that everyone can make their way in. A couple more places I gotta post it. Let's copy this over here. You guys can watch CNBC while I post these up real quick. A couple more places. So the last place I need to post it is the let's see, I got Facebook, Telegram. Let me just pin this so everyone can see it. I know a lot of people miss the live session, so I gotta make sure I gotta make sure that I make it aware to pretty much everyone. So I'd hate for people to miss the live sessions when they really want to join and learn here with us. Let me just pin all this stuff here. All right, it's all pinned. Oops. And then the last place, guys, is going to be our Instagram. So let me just get that on the Instagram real quick. I got to get my MC4 ready anyways for this trade. So let me just get this going. initially, that may be all it is, simply a no. But again, we can tell you that they were willing to at least go 125.
All right, perfect.
Above that, given what they see as a real opportunity here, the stock for the company's sales have been hurt this year as a result of the pandemic, but are seen going up fairly substantially. So there you go, you got Baxter up. People think Baxter needs it, I guess.
Baxter.
Hospital work, and he sell up.
Yeah, looks like everything's kind of pushing up today, guys. A lot of the stocks too. So I post this up on here as well. I just saw Elias's message right now. Dude, I held on to you. Well, I held on to all my trades as well. So let me see if I still got mine here. Yeah, I had my Euro USD here. It was so annoying because it pushed up in my sleep. I wasn't able to close it. So I'm back in some drawdown. Same with NJ. NJ, I was super in profit over here. And then I wasn't able to close it because I was asleep. But thankfully, our GJ over here hit full TP from earlier. And what else do we have active earlier? Oh, and the AU trade as well. AU hit TP2 over here for about, I think, 40 pips. So overall, the trading day has been great, guys. If you guys took that speculative US 30 trade yesterday, I got stopped at it too, but it was a low risk trade because I knew it was going to be speculative, so I didn't go too crazy on that one. But let me all right, first things first, let me go check out the I'm gonna buy signal. What time is it? 40. We might be taking a buy, guys. So let me just analyze this really quick before I pull up the chat just to see where everything's at right now. So we got a rejection off this point. Yeah, if we get that buy signal, might be taking it. Let me see, the market opened right over here at 6:30. Yeah, we got 9 minutes left on that candle, guys. So if that does close, then we might take it. However, this is risky because it's at the all-time high. This is a new all-time high. So I'm probably not gonna be too excited to take a buy because I think it's gonna come down, but we'll see how this plays out. So let me just pull up the chat, guys. I got everything posted up, I think. Let me see. Everything's good. Everything's good. Anything else? No, we're good. Okay, so I'll pull up the chat here on the YouTube real quick, see who's in here. Nice. Looks like we got a lot of people in here already. Let's see. So morning, Greg. Morning, Kushi. Morning, JP. Morning, Peter. Morning, Fung. Morning, Braden. Morning, Alkin. Morning, Victor. Morning, Larry. Morning, Rod Mexico, aka David. Morning, Flynn. Morning, George. Morning, Emma. Morning, Matt. Morning, Indra. Morning, David. Morning, John. Morning, MEC. Morning, Wavemum. Morning, Vincent. Morning, John. Morning, Velocity. Morning, Deswell. Morning, Active. And I think that's it for right now. So I think people are still rolling their way in. We are now going to be looking for a nighttime for you over there, huh? On the in Australia, I believe, right? Opposite time. Morning, Vishnu. Morning, Chelsea. Morning, Godfrey. Morning, Delicia. Morning, Dennis. Morning, everybody. Yeah, guys. So if you guys took any of the Forex trades that I called last night, they all ended pretty nice. Let me check the results real quick. So we last night I called GJ over here, which hit full TP for a gain of, I believe, 30 pips. Let me edit that. That was a full TP. Yeah, for full TP for about 30 pips, which was not that much, guys, because volatility was super low. So it was a small move. I probably could have made it a little wider because if you look at GJ here, it blew right through TP, guys, and it blew another extra 30 plus another 70 pips. So I could have went for like 100 pips off this. However, I was being careful because volatility was super low last night. So that's why our TP was so tight. But it did hit full TP, so I'm happy about that because it covered our first loss on Monday after we had like 140 pips from Sunday night. And then on top of that, we had our AU position hit 40 pips. That position took forever to hit, but it finally did, thankfully. And then lastly, our NJ hit TP1 for a small 10 pips. I was expecting it to shoot up higher because the JPYs were they were weak across the board. You can see AJ over here was weak, CAD JPY was weak, CHF JPY was weak, and I mean the JPY was weak, not the pair, but all of the pairs were strong against the JPY. That's why I took the buy for GJ. EJ was going up, GJ is bullish, hit our full TP, And then our NJ right here is just, I don't know what happened with NJ, but it was bullish and then it hit TP2 and then it just pulled right back. So unfortunately, all these hit TP while I was asleep, so I wasn't able to adjust the stop loss and profit and get out. But it's fine because I still see them pushing up. You know, especially with a lot of this new COVID vaccine news coming out, I think the JPY is still going to be weak overall. And with the bad COVID news, I still see the USD being weak as well. So unfortunately, I got caught in this pullback as well for Euro USD. I wanted to exit in profit over here, but unfortunately, I got caught in this because I was asleep and I wasn't able to close out in profit. However, I think they're still going to come up because if you look at the correlating pairs, we look at AU right here, it's still bullish. EU, it's still, it's pulling back slightly, but I think it's going to swing back up, honestly. GU over here, it's bullish. NU, it's bullish. UCAD, it's bearish. And UC, it's also bearish here. So this just indicates that the US dollar is weak right now, guys. So I'm not too worried about EU. I mean, it does suck. So I want to get out of this trade because I hate being in trades for, you know, too long of a period. So let's see. We've been in this trade for about a day now, almost 2 days. I don't really like being in trades more than a day or two. So, I mean, unfortunately, I got to eat the bullet on this because I didn't set an alarm to wake me up, but I think it should be fine. Just looking at the other correlating pairs like AU, GU, NU, UCAD, and UC, since they're all going that same direction, indicating that the US dollar is weak. And with the coronavirus numbers going up higher and higher every day, I think it's still going to go in our direction. So don't be too worried, guys. I know a lot of people are worried about AE over here when it pulled back, right? But look what happened. It went from down here to this drawdown up, you know, 110 pips. So it just goes to show if you guys are patient, you guys trust, you know, the strategy that we're applying. You just got to wait. It's all about patience. Let me go over here and check this out over here. Let's see who else is here. Tam, good morning. The producer, morning. Elias, good morning. Black to Jerry, morning. Kipon, morning. Yeah, so Kipon, he was just asking about EU right now. So same situation that I was mentioning earlier, Kipon. All of the US dollar pairs still look weak. I mean, they look strong in regard to the other currency, but the US dollar is still weak overall with the COVID numbers increasing. So AU is still bullish. Like I mentioned earlier, GU is bullish as well. NU is bullish. UCAD is bearish, meaning that the Canadian dollar is stronger than the US dollar. And UC over here is bearish as well. So I think EU, it's just pulling back slightly, but I think it's going to swing back up. It might, you know, retrace to here to the zone, and then it might reject off it, and then it might shoot up. So I'm just being patient with it. It's still a long way from stop loss, so I'm not too worried about it. But you can see my drawdown here. I was in profit like $100 overnight, and then all of a sudden I woke up to being in the negative again, unfortunately. So I'm just gonna let it be, let it run, and then see how it plays out. Let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, David said, hey, if everyone here can like the stream, that'd be great because you guys can help with the YouTube algorithm so that other people that haven't found out about K2 can find K2. Because if you guys have gotten value out of these live sessions that I have every morning, you guys know it's completely free. I don't charge you guys for these live sessions. And I'm here to help you guys out and answer any questions you guys have. So if you guys can do a favor, you know, just do us a solid and like the video so that other people can find K2 and can learn with us here. Also, so everyone can take the US 30 trade with us and push that thing up if we end up taking that buy. Let's see what else we got here. And also, if you guys aren't already subscribed, I know I had like 2 or 3 live mentoring sessions yesterday, some one-on-ones with some people, and a lot of people sat in on them and we're able to, you know, pull some stuff from each of those sessions. So if you guys want to sit in on the live sessions, those are completely free too. It'll be like more of a viewing room where I'm going one-on-one with someone, and then you guys can just sit there and see how I teach people on a one-on-one basis. If you guys subscribe and you guys like the video, you guys will get notifications from YouTube telling you that, you know, Shawn's going live for a mentoring session. If you want to join this mentoring session, here's the link, et cetera, et cetera. And that just helps you guys as well. If you guys have any other questions and you guys need to get on you know, a call with me. Let's see what else we got here. David said, let's keep the channel growing. Don't know anyone's community with a higher win rate than you with the US 30. You know, definitely 100%. Dennis said, if I sign up for the $50 K2, will I have these indicators right now? Yeah, Dennis. So if you sign up for the trial, and pull up US 30 real quick. Thankfully, we didn't get that buy because I did not want to take a buy for US 30. It's already at all-time high, guys. So I think it's going to come down from here. But yeah, Dennis, if you go on the website, just go to k2trades.com right here. Really simple, just the website. Scroll down to the bottom right here. And then we still have the trial going on. So it's $50 for the first month. This will give you access to the K2 strategies course. It'll give you access to all of the K2 indicators and all the K2 premium groups. On top of that, you'll have access to a one-on-one mentorship with me. If you sign up before the end of the year, you'll have unlimited sessions with me. So make sure to take advantage of that, guys, because as K2 continues to grow, I'm not going to have enough time to give you guys that one-on-one treatment because there's only one of me and there's hundreds of you guys. So if you guys want to take advantage of that one-on-one mentorship that's unlimited with me, then make sure to sign up by the end of the year. Next year, if people sign up, you'll still have one-on-one mentorships with me, but it's not going to be unlimited. It's probably going to be like once a month for each person because I need to make sure I have enough time to help everyone out. So yeah, Dennis, if you sign up for the trial here, you'll have access to the indicators where you can apply all the strategies, and then you should be good to go. Vishnu said, I think some of us might have re-entered AU. Perfect. Yeah, if you guys re-entered AU, that's great because it is swinging right back up. It's a few pips away from full TP. Let's see. So it was almost there. It was like about 10 pips away from full TP for a gain of 80 pips. So if you guys did re-enter, there was another re-entry point right here. And then that's why I think it's going to continue up even further to hit full TP. So we'll wait for that. And we just got to be patient with that. Deswell said, how do you book a mentoring session? So Deswell, just message me on Telegram. You do have to have access to the K2 indicators and the K2 strategies to apply the, obviously to have a mentoring session, because I'm teaching you guys how to trade how I do. So Deswell, I'm not sure if you have an active subscription with the strategies. If you do, then yeah, you can set it up with me. However, if you don't, then there'd be no reason for us to have a mentoring session because you don't have access to the indicators and you won't be able to trade like I do. So that's well, if you want to have access to that, then you can just message me, but you got to make sure that you have an active subscription because it just makes no sense for me to get on a one-on-one mentoring session with you to teach you the K2 strategies when you don't have access to the indicators. Let's see what else we got here. Hey, morning, Mursaba. Looks like you have the week off, right? Tony said, can you trade without the indicators? You can trade as however you like, Tony. But if you want to trade the K2 strategies, obviously you would need the indicators. So if you want to trade any other strategy that you could trade without any indicators. You could trade naked trading. But it's going to be a lot harder for you to trade because you're not going to have these tools to help you trade like how I do. Because, there's a lot of people that try to mimic how I trade. They think they can do it without the indicators, but what happens to their accounts? Account blown. So let's keep that in mind. Because these indicators are created by me. Like I created these from scratch. I created these strategies from scratch. So I've been trading for 10 years. So the thing is, I know what I'm doing, and I figured I created these for specific reasons. So if you try to trade without them, or if you try to trade with some other indicators, odds are your results are probably not going to be the same because these are very specific indicators and they're specifically made to identify specific things. So if you watch any of the videos of my training or any videos of my strategies, you'll see that it's not something that can be easily duplicated unless you really know what you're doing. And if you're asking that question, Tony, I'm assuming you're still new to trading. So, good luck if you learn with another strategy, but you can apply these strategies without these specific indicators. Let's see. Dennis is asking, does a month last a full 30 days or only for the rest of the month? Yeah, and David said 30 days from the sign up. Right, perfect. Emma said, so when we sign up, do we get the indicators on our trading view? Yeah, Emma, so depending on what you signed up for, if you go on the website, if you sign up for the signals only, then you only get the signals. If you sign up for the strategy course, then you get access to the indicators. So it depends on which one you signed up for. Let me see if I can pull your account up. So I'm not sure if this is you, Emma. I only see one Emma on the list. The Emma that I see on the list only has access to the signals. So it looks like you sign up for the signals only, Emma. That's why you don't have access to the indicators. But if you do want to upgrade, you can always upgrade. Just you know, go to the strategies over here, and then you can sign up for this here, where you get access to the indicators and the strategies course. And if you guys aren't familiar with the K2 strategies course, this is what it looks like. It basically breaks down all the introduction stuff, all the trading view tools and functions that I use, the trend lines, support resistance, all the foundational stuff. And then this is the more important stuff, the K2 strategy. So you'll have access to my intraday strategy right here, my momentum pullback strategy, my scalping strategies, the K2SR strategy. This is the only strategy that I use for the K2 premium signal. So all of these TPs that hit last night, this GJ, NJ, pretty much all of the results that have yielded all of our Forex signals. So these 439 wins and 144 losses and the net profit of 18,444 pips, that's all from using this one strategy. I use this all year round. It works all year, no issues. It works perfectly fine. So if you want to use the strategy that I use for all of the signals, it would be this one right here on the 4-hour time frame. And then on top of that, you have my pivot strategy and my US 30 strategy as well. And then as a bonus, if you guys want to go back and look at every single trade that I've taken this year, you guys will have access to it down here. So I have all my trades from 2020 up until 2018. If you click on October here, it'll show you the total month wins and losses by week, indices right here, and then every trade broken down. So if you want to see every single trade that I took, wins and losses, they're all listed right here. So you can see for October, we actually had a rocky month around the middle of October, and then it just went crazy. Like from the beginning to the end, we had a ton of wins. So if you guys want to go back and, you know, validate all of my trades, you guys can go ahead and do that as well. And it has every month here up until August 2018. So I guess that's about it for here. Let me go back to the charts real quick. Let's see if there's any other questions. Response, it called me into work today, but I'll be here. This is priority right now. Nice, Mersba. City said US 30 starting to drop a little bit. So yeah, I'm looking at it right here. I'm hoping we get an invalid signal or something so that we can take a sell, because I really don't want to take a buy. Like if you look at the charts here, US 30 is at an all-time high. I don't think it's going to, it could push, but I don't think it's going to push like that crazy, guys. Because look how high is it? There's no structure up there. It's never been up here before. If I go on the monthly chart, yeah, look at US 30. This is a crazy high. And it's crazy because we're in COVID. Like, so you wouldn't expect the US 30 to be shooting up like that, but it is. And we'll just take it as it is for now until we can figure out, you know, which direction it's going to be pushing. So let me pull up the chat again real quick. Let's see. Vincent said, will NZD continue to go NZD JPY? So Vincent, I think so. The reason for that is because I correlate NZD JPY with all of the other JPY pairs. So JPY right here is overall weak. It's just pulling back slightly, but overall it's still bullish, right? So if you look at AJ over here, you can correlate them because they're similar. You know, it's the Australian dollar versus the Japanese yen, similar to the New Zealand dollar versus the Japanese yen. If this is bullish right here, this is indicating that the JPY is weak. So for NJ right here, this is also going to confirm that. And then we'll look at other pairs like CAD JPY. It's also bullish. The JPY is weak there. Euro JPY right here, it's bullish as well, but it's pulling down slightly. So this is going to give more confirmation. On top of that, GJ over here, very bullish. So this gives a confirmation that the JPY is weak. And lastly, UJ over here. So all of the pairs are either going sideways, slightly pulling back, but overall they're all bullish, right? So that's going to give us confirmation that NJ will probably push back up. And I'm still in this trade as well. You can see I have an active position here for about 1.5 standard lots. So I wanted to go up too. So, you know, if you're still in this trade, we're in the same boat. Unfortunately, I was sleeping, so I wasn't able to move my stop loss and profit when it moved up to TP2. But, you know, we're still in it. So hang on to this trade. And I think eventually it'll just pull back slightly. And then I think it will swing back up. Because if they're all bullish, then they're all going to, you know, it's just the NJ is just lagging behind AJ over here. So I think we should be all right. Hey, morning, Kyle. How's it going? Let's see. Kyle said first time on your channel, my friend. Yeah, definitely. Glad to have you here, Kyle. We love having new members, guys, because we're on this every single day, and we all have a great time here just trading, especially US 30 when we're able to get that entry. So glad to have you here, Kyle. Welcome to the family. Let's see. Dennis said, last question. I think, do I have to have a paid trading view in order to use your K2 indicators? Dennis, so for trading view, you can use the indicators with a free account. So if you're not familiar with, let me pull it up real quick. Let me see if I could pull up the options. So I'll just pull up trading view real quick. So looking at trading view right here, you can see, so if you have a free account, you still get all of the functions. The only difference is that you don't get custom timeframes. So you can still use the indicators, but you can only have X amount of indicators on the chart at a time. So you can have 3 indicators up at a time, which is completely fine because all you really need is the momentum indicator. The K2SR indicator, you can draw your own zones. And then once you're done with that, you can take it off the chart. And that's about it, really. So you only really need 2 or 3 indicators up at a time. So you can use a free trading view account to run the strategies. The only difference is if you want to apply the US 30 strategy, you'll need custom time intervals. So if you want to do that, you would need at least the cheapest account to trade US 30. However, you can trade Forex with a free account, no problem. But obviously, if you want to take your trading, to the serious level, then you're going to have to, make an effort for it and get a better trading view account. But the thing is, so Dennis, if you don't have a trading view account yet, you can I have a trick here. So it's right here, trading view free trial discounted trick. So I explain how to get trading view for free. So you can get basically any account size for free. There's a video here explaining how to do that. And you can do it like 2 or 3 or 4 times. So like you can get 3 to 4 months for free. And then at that point, you could, you'll have enough money because you'll make enough profits from your trading to just, actually pay for it. So this is one way to do it. You can go ahead and check it out. I have a premium account with TradingView. That's because obviously I'm serious with my trading. I trade full time and I've been doing this for a while. So that's why I have a premium account with TradingView, but it's not 100% necessary. So let me just pull this up real quick. Let me see how the charts are looking. It's 7 o'clock, guys. So we have, looks like the market's back into a full swing right now. So I'm just going to take these zones off because price is breaking them. And then I'll just create some new ones along the way. So let me see where the lower zones are on here. So basically what I'm doing right here, guys, is because we're waiting for a buy signal. What I'm waiting for is for price to come to these zones, reject off them, and then follow up with a buy signal. That way we know exactly when and where to enter the trade. So right here, obviously we're waiting for this buy signal because the last signal was a sell. So it's probably going to push down a bit to the zone over here. And then once it pushes off the zone, we'll probably get a rejection off it. And once we get a buy signal, we can ride that buy back up. So let me see how much is this from here. It's still kind of far up, guys, because our sweet spot's about 1,500 pips. But for this specific trade right here, that's a long way up. So let me, Brain said, looks like the US 30 is melting. Yeah, no, exactly. So this, I'm pretty much just waiting for it to come down right here. If it does come down like that, I'm going to be careful if we enter this buy because it's 1,500 pips is going to be at the next all-time high. So if that happens, then it's going to be risky because it's going to create let me see if there's an upper zone over here yet. Yeah, so there is an upper zone right here. So that if we were to enter a buy position down here or something, it will it'll kind of be cutting it close a bit, right? Because it's going to have to break another all-time high, which could happen. I mean, there's no reason for it not to, but we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. All right, so Dennis, I've been trading with you for a week now. I made my work check for that in a week. No problem. Getting it in now. Thank you. No problem. Merceboss said London session was weird, but US 30 is looking nice right now. Took that sell. Nice. So you took that that sell signal right there. Yeah, I was waiting for it to drop. We took like that speculative buy yesterday, or speculative sell. So hopefully you guys didn't go too heavy on that trade, because that's why I didn't call it as an official trade, because it was I wasn't expecting it to hit. It was kind of just like, I was putting the trade in. If it hit, it hit. If it didn't hit, then I was cool with that as well. So let me see what else we got here. If there's anything. Okay, I just want to make sure I answered all the questions. Let me check my emails real quick, because we all right, guys, 1 second. Let me just make sure that there is no. Nice. My FTMO payout came out today, so I'm going to be getting paid out. Let's see. Let me check my FTMO payout request. Congratulations on closing your month. FTMO, dear trader, congratulations on closing your trading month in profit. To process your withdrawal in your client area, please go to FTMO trader section and select payouts. Nice. So today's my payday for FTMO. Let me see if I can do that real quick, because I want to. I need to do my payout so that I can keep trading that other live account that I have with them. So I'm probably gonna leave money in it. I'm only gonna take out a couple $100. I don't really need the money right now, so I just wanted to leave some cushion because we're entering the holidays. So I do want some cushion just in case. FTMO traders. Nice. Okay, cool. So I locked in a couple $1,000. Nice. 2,676. Take that. I'm curious. I don't know if I should. They're offering me a brand new FTMO account, or if I want to get my refund for my new one that I did. So if I do that, they'll refund me $610. Otherwise, if I want another account, they'll just give me a new 100K account. Let's see, get a new FTMO challenge with your profits. I'll just get another challenge, because I want to get that 300K, guys. When I get that 300K, it'll be yeah, because I have 200K already. So I'm not gonna take the pay. I don't need the money. So I make decent on my own trading accounts. So let's see on my personal ones. Nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a new FTMO challenge with my refund. So instead of taking $610 back, I'm just going to get a new account, which is perfect for me. Nice. All right, cool, guys. So it looks like I'm gonna start my 300K soon. All right, perfect. So I'm gonna get a small payout, plus I'm gonna get my refund. But instead of my refund, I'm gonna be getting a new FTMO account. So I'm getting a new 100K account. Please check all information. Invoice is proper. Nice. Okay, yeah. Awesome. All right, cool. So it looks like I have a new 100K account, guys. I'm gonna start that maybe next week. Yeah, so we should be good. Great, guys. So I got to kill it with US 30, guys. So you guys are gonna be here with me day in, day out, because I need to get that next 100K account funded so that I can merge that into a 300K account. Whew, that's gonna be exciting, guys. It's gonna be fun. Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Black to Jerry. You guys will see that I'm going to be really serious in my trades, because I need to get that other 100K account funded. So I'm good with that now. It's a little drop in the bucket, $610. But I'd rather have the account than have to pay for it again, because you got to pay all those fees if you use your credit card and stuff. Let me see what else we got here. So let me go back to the questions. City said my US 30 from last night finally back in profit. Nice. So you didn't close it out, right? Good thing. Because I knew it was going to come down. It just kept pushing up, because everyone was trying to go for that sell. Nice. Usman is still in it. He just closed one position. Profit kept one open. Nice. Vincent said, have any currency pairs for trading today? So Vincent, I trade off the 4-hour candle. So We currently have a couple trades active, AUD/USD, EU right here. Unfortunately, this was in profit, but I was asleep, so I couldn't close it out. So now I'm in some drawdown, but it's completely fine. You know, I know the risk of this trade. And our NJ trade right here as well that hit TP2, I was supposed to exit in profit, but I was asleep, so I wasn't able to you know, move my stop loss in profit, unfortunately. But I'm not too worried about these. But like I mentioned, I trade off the 4-hour candle. So the next candle closes in about 3 hours. We have about 2 hours and 51 minutes left on this candle. So I'm not going to be looking for trades until we get closer to that candle close. Man, everything is melting right now, guys. I don't know if you noticed that, but a lot of these pairs are like dropping super heavy. Is there something that happened in the news? Defense officials holding briefing. Oh shit. Okay, so they're giving out the vaccine, or they're having their briefing. That makes sense. Fuck, man. Damn it. So that's why the US dollar is dropping so heavy right now, because they are going to be discussing the vaccine. So it's good news for the vaccine, good news for the US dollar, bad news for our active positions, because we're banking that the US dollar is going to be weak, right? So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Unfortunately, I'm still stuck in the trades. I went against my rule about keeping trades open overnight, so that's my bad. So I'm going to take that as a lesson to myself. But it's all right, guys. You know, you win some, you lose some. You can't win every single trade. And if you're not going to follow your own rules like myself, then you're just going to have to take responsibility for those mistakes. So I'm taking responsibility, guys. I don't care if I'm in the drawdown or if I'm losing money. It's all right, because we're going to bounce back and I'm going to make that money back anyway. So it's no biggie. Let's see what else we got here. So if there's any pairs you guys want me to look at, go ahead and put them in the chat, and then I can go ahead and analyze anything you guys want me to. You know, like I mentioned, I'm here to help you guys out. So if you guys have any trading questions, just put them in the chat, and then I can answer them for you. If you want me to analyze anything, I can do that as well. I'm pretty much here to help you guys out, because I have a lot of time. I have about 2 hours and 40 minutes until I look for the next Forex trades. And meanwhile, we're still going to be waiting for US 30 to come down, possibly test this, reject off, give us a buy signal, and then we can enter a long position at some point, right? So I have a lot of free time right now, guys. So if you guys have any questions, just put them in the chat. Let's see what else we got over here. Merch Boss said, all stocks hit all-time high last night. Do you think that with the holidays, it will continue to go up? Merch Boss, so I don't think the holidays are really pushing US 30 up. It's more so, you know, the COVID vaccine. So if the COVID vaccine comes out, it's going to benefit the US. It's also going to benefit US 30, because a lot of businesses can reopen. If they reopen, people are going to be spending money. Businesses are going to go doing well again, reopen, and everything's just going to bounce back. You know, once the vaccine comes out, it's going to help a lot of things overall with regard to the US dollar, with regard to, you know, any type of businesses that are directly correlated with the stocks within the US 30 index. So I don't think it's more so because of the holidays. It's more so because of the COVID updates. Damn. This is why I hate COVID sometimes, because it like really screws up the market. Like we were up in so much profit right here, and then it started to pull back because all of a sudden they want to talk about the vaccine distribution. So we'll see how that plays out. My EURUSD is not looking good so far, guys. Shit, it's pushing down so heavy because of the freaking US dollar is getting stronger after the COVID vaccine. So like I mentioned, guys, it's fine. If I take this loss right here, it's no biggie, because I'm going to bounce back from it regardless. You know, trading is a back and forth game, guys. You guys can't be stuck on any losses that you guys have and whatnot. Shit, even my NJ position right here. But it's cool. Like I mentioned, you guys can't be worried about these losses, because if you take a loss, you guys just have to eat that loss and roll with it, because that's just one loss. You know, you can bounce back with one loss and like 10 wins. So if you guys followed our my trades from last week, we actually had a crazy good week last week. Let me see. Results, Forex. So last week we had a total of, you know, 11 wins and 0 losses for a gain of a net 495 pips. So this is why I don't really care, guys, because we had such a great week last week that I'm basically giving away some pips, maybe like 90 of these pips. So I'm still in profit or net profit overall for the year. And this is why you guys got to see trading as a long-term game, guys, because you'll have bad weeks, you'll have a few bad trades. But overall, if you look at our current results for Forex, we're still up 18,444 pips. So I can take these losses. If you guys followed all my trades from January. Let's see what's going on over here in the chat. Shell said, is you still open? Profit last night. VIST dropping due to the COVID vaccine news. So yeah, COVID is like really unpredictable, guys. Like, there's no way to really predict what's going to happen with COVID. When the vaccine is going to come out, and it could be a good thing and a bad thing, because it could be a bad thing because it affects our positions in a negative way. However, it could be a good thing because it creates volatility in the market. So if you guys were following the market this whole week, you can see it was super dead, like the entire week. And then all of a sudden we had COVID news that started to push price in a certain direction. So it's a good and a bad thing. It's a bad thing because we're currently in opposite positions right now, because obviously it was bullish for the longest time. But yeah, I think once the COVID numbers come out, let me check the COVID numbers real quick. When the COVID numbers come out, it's gonna drop like the US dollar and stuff again, because I don't know if the new cases from like, oh, this is why too, because the numbers went down on the 8th from the 7th to the 8th. But I think once the Thanksgiving numbers come out, it's going to spike it up again, guys. Like, unfortunately, it's going to spike it up. I don't want it to spike up, but it's going to spike up. And then our stuff is going to end up going back to where it is supposed to go. So that's why I'm not too worried, guys. So you guys shouldn't be too worried either. We have a huge gap here, guys. So from here to stop loss, if you guys are still in this trade, if you moved your stop loss in profit, you have a huge cushion here, like 40 pips. So don't freak out if you're in this trade. But look at US 30, this thing is dumping heavy. So looks like it's passing this this structure over here, actually. Let me see if there's another one below it. Wow, so if it breaks this structure right here, the next one's gonna be way down here. So if price breaks this structure right here, odds are it's probably going to continue further. So if it breaks below, it'll continue further down to test this one before people come and buy the dip. Because people are waiting to buy that dip. They're waiting for that low. So once the low's been established, people are going to buy the dip, and then it's going to spike right back up. So that's why we're being patient to catch that swing up. Because the thing is, you don't want to enter a sell right here, right? Because if you enter a sell, like say if you entered a sell down here, because you wanted a FOMO in, right? Because this is what happens with a lot of people. They try to catch this when it's dropping. They enter a sell right here, and then what happens? It pulls right back up. So they try to enter the sell, it pulls right back up like it did right there, and then it likely stops someone out before it continues back down. And you guys have seen that before. It happens all the time. That's why we're not trying to jump the gun right here, because right now US 30 is obviously all the hype right now, right? Because it's at an all-time high. So people are trying to get in at a good price. So right here, if it rejects off it like it did, see this nice rejection off here, and we get a buy signal, it's probably going to continue up, because sentiment is showing. Let me check the IG sentiment. IG sentiment US 30. Let's see where everybody is trading right now. So there's a lot of factors you guys can factor in, guys. Like, you should look at the market as a full spectrum. You should look at sentiment. You should look at the trend. You should look at momentum, all that stuff. So right here it says that 71% of people are short of US 30. So that's where all these people got suckered in, because so many people are in short. So what people do sometimes is they'll enter a short position right here because they saw it broke. Their stop loss would be right here, right? So if they did that, they would have gotten stopped out, and then they're just going to keep messing with you guys. That's why we're not entering it yet, because it's spiking around, let's see. It's spiking like 1,000 pips, guys. 1,000 pips is actually a lot of pips depending on your lot size. So we got to avoid all this noise, and then we have to wait for the proper direction to actually appear before we take this trade. So let me go back to the questions over here, see if there's anything new. Let's see. Nice, thanks, Matt. Matt's congrats, brother. Going to be awesome seeing you get 3 100K accounts. Black to Jerry said, I'm on my second one. So we rolling? Nice. Yadia is asking, hey, is US 30 going to go down? So Yadia, we're waiting for it to reject off one of these zones. So right now it did reject off here. If we get a buy signal, then I'm going to anticipate it to shoot back up, because the thing is, there are so many sellers right now, 71%, that, that are trying to catch this right here, right? But the market makers and institutions aren't going to make it that easy. They know that there's a lot of people trying to sell. So what they're going to do is they're going to spike price down to get people all excited. They're like, oh yeah, we're doing good. And then all of a sudden, when it comes down to this area, they're going to spike it right back up like it did right there, right? So whoever entered their trade over here late, like for a short position, they probably would have gone stopped out, right? Because it came down, then it spiked right back up. We're not trying to trade within this noise right here. We're trying to wait for everything to settle and, all the hype dies down, and then we catch the move when the real momentum shows itself. Because right now, this is all speculation. This is a bunch of people trying to, get a quick buck right here because there's so many people short. So it's like playing chess, guys. You guys have to see things from all perspectives. You have to see things how other retail traders are trading. Obviously, all other retail traders are trying to enter or sell here because it's at an all-time high. But then you have to look at things from the perspective of an institution or market maker. They know that everyone's selling. So what they're going to do is they're going to push price level down to get people excited. And then all of a sudden they're going to spike price up to stop everyone out. Then what happens? They drop it back down, get everyone excited again. And then they spike it right back up again to stop everyone out. So that's why we're here being patient and just waiting, because we don't want to get caught in any of that noise that's going on right now with US 30. See if anything else is going on here. Usman said, hey, Shawn, I heard some people got an allergic reaction to the vaccine. Yeah, I heard that too. That's why I personally wouldn't take the vaccine yet, because I don't know what the side effects are and what's going to happen. We talked about this yesterday. I'm not, again, I have no medical background, so I don't know anything about side effects and stuff like that. But, just the generalization, there's going to be side effects and there's going to be stuff that's going to happen. That's why it can affect the news in both ways. Because if there's bad side effects, nobody's going to want to take it. And if that happens, then they're going to have to work even further on the vaccine even more before they start distributing it to the masses. Let's see. Euro NZD. So Toon wants me to check out Euro NZD. I'll pull that up real quick. So Euro NZD over here. Sorry, wrong chart. Let me pull up my other chart over here. Euro NZD. So for Euro NZD, I'll analyze this from scratch, since some people here are brand new and they don't know how I analyze everything. So I'm gonna just delete everything off the chart, even my zones. So I have my zones lined up right here. I'm gonna delete everything. And then here we go with the naked chart, guys. So basically when I analyze this, first thing I do is I turn on the K2SR indicator and I draw my zones. So once we have that on there, I go ahead and pull up my rectangle tool, and then I go ahead and draw my zones over there so that I can see where these rejection points are. And this should be groundwork for everyone. So this should be the main thing that you guys focus on first, because these are really important. I'll show you guys why shortly. So I'm drawing these zones right here. So if you guys have been here for a while, you guys know that I do this every single Sunday before the market opens, so that I know exactly where to trade and where not to trade, because these zones are respected, throughout time, especially for Forex. Since Forex is a ranging asset, it'll always come back to these zones at some point. So drawing these right here. See what we got up here. Slow one right here. And then we got this last one down here. So once I have that on the chart, I hide the indicator so I can clean up the chart. And you can see here, price always respects these zones. So I just drew these zones right now, but you can see that these zones go way back up until August, July, May. How far does it go back? So it goes back years. It goes back to 2019, same price where we're at right now. These same zones have been tested all the way back to 2018, 2017, and so on. So you guys can see right here that these are very strong zones, and history always repeats itself. So the way that we use these zones is that we are able to see where price is likely to reject from, because you can see price moves from zone to zone. So price goes from this zone to this zone, and pretty much just bounces around from each zone, obviously. So when we get near a zone, we don't really want to enter a position against it because it might reject off it. Like right here, price is coming down. We won't want to enter sell right here because price is likely to reject right off it, right? It doesn't always happen. It can always break below it and test this next zone, but eventually it might likely reject off it at one of those points. So you don't want to enter sell here because you might get caught in a reversal if it ends up reversing on you. So going back to my analysis, I'm going to turn on the K2 momentum indicator. And then once I have that on right here, we do have a bearish bias, right? Because the last signal was a sell momentum. And you can see from here, when you get these momentum signals, so we have this buy right here, right? What happens when you get a buy? It pushes to the next zone. Rejects off this zone, you get a sell. What happens from there? It pushes to the next zone right here. So once it reaches this zone right here, it can do one of two things. It can either break below it and test this next zone, or it can reject off it and retest this zone over here. So price pretty much goes from zone to zone right here, but for EN over here, it hasn't completed the move yet. So I think it's going to continue down. However, it might pull back a little bit. So this is what might be happening. It's never a smooth ride where it's just going to shoot down to the next zone. What might happen here is prices come down, might retrace up a little bit before it continues down to test the zone. So I do have a bearish bias on this. However, I wouldn't enter until, obviously if we're entering a sell, I wouldn't enter this until it breaks below this zone, because what do we expect to happen from here if it closes below this zone? We expect it to continue down to the next zone right here. So if we were to enter a trade right there, we can enter a short position and pretty much ride it down to this zone for a gain of like 60 pips, right? So it's all about a game of patience, guys. I wouldn't take this trade right now because, like I mentioned, price can always retrace back. So with this right here, I do have a bearish bias. However, I wouldn't enter this trade until it breaks below here. Or what happens here, if price closes into the zone right here and then rejects off it and we get a buy signal, then I would enter a buy. And then I would ride it to this next zone over here for like 150 pips, right? So those are the two scenarios that can play out. But me personally, I would wait for, some sort of confirmation, because the same thing can happen here. You can see history repeats itself, right? So when price broke the zone right here, what happened? It came down and tested this zone. However, look what happened here. Price came down, same situation, sell signal, sell signal. It came down right here, tested the zone, and then what happened when it closed above it? Got a buy signal, and then it pushed up, tested this zone, and broke into this zone right here before coming back down. So for EN right here, you can see that this is a certain asset that always respects these zones and repeats itself. So that's why for now, I would anticipate this to continue down further. So Tune, I'm not sure if you're already in this trade, but if you are, I would probably move your stop loss in profit. Not sure if you're in profit already, but if you are, the entry for this trade actually started way up here. This would have been the entry because price went above this structure. It broke below. We got a sell signal confirming the drop. And this would have been the full move right here for about 140 pips. So if you're currently in this position, you should probably be in profit if you took it like how we did here. And I would move your stop loss in profit maybe to this area over here. That way, in case price swings up, you get stopped out in profit and you lock in profits. However, you have all the upside because if it comes back down and tests this area, you hit your full TP. So that's how I would analyze EUR NZD right here. And just a reminder, guys, if you guys want access to all of the K2 indicators so you can do exactly what I did here, everything's taught in the course. So if you want to learn how to trade exactly how I just did right now and how I identified this, just go on the website, k2trades.com, sign up for the strategy course. You'll have access to the entire course right here. And for that analysis, I use this strategy right here, the K2SR zone trading strategy on the 4-hour time frame. So you guys will have access to all of this, and you guys can do exactly what I did and make profit off this trade, because this drop right here was about, wow, 120 pips, 125 pips, full TP for 140 pips. If you took this trade right here and hit full TP, you would have paid off your subscription for a whole year. So it just goes to show, you know, one trade could literally change your account if done properly. So let me keep going down the list over here, see if there's any other questions. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and I can analyze anything you guys like. Let me check US 30. US 30 is still dropping a bit. We'll see how that plays out. Looks like Euro USD recovered a little bit, thankfully. Thank God. I was like tripping out for a second because it was dropping so hard. I mean, I'm still in super negative, but it doesn't matter. I'm expecting it to, like I mentioned earlier, guys, it might reject off this point and then skyrocket back up, because this is a strong structure right here on Euro USD. You can see the structure that I drew. It's a huge zone right here. So we've got a ways to go. I'm not too worried about it. If it hits stop loss, it does. And I'll just move on to the next one. So we'll make the money back on a different trade. However, I'd rather it not, and I'd rather have it reject off and shoot back into profit. But there's no point in watching it, guys. If you know, just let it play out. If it plays out, it does. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. So I'm gonna leave it as it is. So let me continue down here and see. Kyle said, I'm not taking the vaccine. Just ask if it has MRC5 in it. Don't just reject it. Respectfully decline. Stay woke, fam. Yeah, no, definitely. I'm gonna wait and see how everything, you know, how the vaccine plays out after the first trial, or not the first trial, but the first distribution, and I'll see how everyone turns out. If everyone doesn't come out all, you know, morphed out and stuff, then maybe I'll take it. John said, Usman, which vaccine? What was the percentage of people with allergic reaction? I'll see if he responded here. Vishnu said, Shawn, do you recommend the, oh yeah, 100% Vishnu. So Vishnu said, Shawn, do you recommend the book by Mark Douglas, Trading in the Zone? Heard some good reviews about this book and planning on getting a copy. 100% Vishnu. That's one of the best books with regard to trade psychology. So if you want to be a cheap ass and just get it for free, it's on YouTube. That's where I listened to it when I didn't have any money and I was just getting started trading. So if you can afford it, get the Audible, because Audible is going to be the, you know, the real version. It's going to be a lot better. But if you want to be cheap and just get the free version, it's also on YouTube. Let me see if I could find it here. And I have the book too, guys. So if you guys are in the Telegram, just message me and then I'll send you the actual ebook, because I have the ebook. So if you type in Trading in the Zone audiobook, so it's still here, guys. So if you YouTube it, it's right here, Vishnu, Trading in the Zone. I think it might have been a couple of these over here. There's a whole bunch of them, honestly. Like before, when I was like just started trading and I didn't have any money to buy anything, like I never had a course, guys. I never paid for a course. I never had a mentor. I learned all this trading on my own. I created these indicators on my own. I created the strategy on my own. It's all from like trial and error. You know, I'd been trading for 10 years. I made a lot of mistakes along the way, but then I learned from them. So then I was able to create, you know, this consistently profitable strategy that works very well, you know, all year round. So let me see what else we got here. Hamisi said, if you have a 300K funded account, what lot sizes are you going to use? So Hamisi, if I'm currently using a 15 on a 100K account. So if I do 15 times 3, I'll probably be taking a 45 lot size on a 300K account. So the thing with my risk for US 30. So yeah, for US 30 specifically, my risk on here is about, let's see, 1.5 times 1500 is about 2,250, right? This is how much I could profit and how much I could lose per trade. Multiply it by 3, it'll be 6,750 per trade, which is going to be fine because my max loss is going to be 15K. I'm going to be like well below it. But this is huge profit potential, because if I make this per trade and then you Here, let me see. So if you make this per trade, let me just do this real quick. 250 times 3. If you make this per trade, and then you have, say, about 5 trades a week, right? We trade Monday through Friday. You lose 1 trade, so you have a total of maybe 3 or 4 wins. So I'm gonna be conservative. Multiply this by 3. It's a total of 20,000 per week. You multiply that by 4 by the month, 81,000 per month. I take 70% of that times 70%. My take home would be about 56,700. That's crazy. That's fucking insane. And then you multiply that by 12. So I could have some crazy profit potential with that 300K account, just trading US 30 once a day. So that's why I stay consistent with it, guys, because the strategy works. If you guys have followed all of the US 30 entries that we've taken, they've been like super spot on. And I'll go over the strategy in a little bit, guys, for the new people here, because I know there's a lot of new people that don't know what the US 30 strategy is. So I will show you guys exactly what it is, just so that you guys can understand, you know, what we're really looking for here. Because I have made some slight changes with the K2SR just for confirmation, but it's not necessary because it's not part of the strategy. But I'll go ahead and show you guys here. So I already marked all these up, but I can show you guys again like how it works for the new people here if we don't get any questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check through the chat, and if we don't have any questions, I'll show the new people here exactly how this strategy works more specifically, because I know there's a lot of new people here. So I know a lot of you guys are wondering, you know, what are we looking for? What are we waiting for? Why isn't Shawn called a signal yet? It's because we're waiting for the entry to appear. But okay, so let me check what alerts we got here. Oh, it's a US 30 alert for a buy. Hasn't come up yet. Okay, so let me just go through the chat, finish out, and see what's going on here. And then I can go over that strategy for you guys. Ed said to check Telegram. Let me see. Damn, so Ed took that sell right there. Ed just sent me his profits. This dude's up 1,100 right now. Good stuff, Ed. So Ed's killing it. Is that the new account, Ed? Because I knew you were waiting for a new one, right? Yeah, that might be your new account. Let me see what else is here. So we got a ton of questions here. So let me see what else is have people said here. Yeah, Kyle said Trading Zone is a great book. There are summaries on YouTube, definitely. Vincent said, will GCAD go up? Let me check GCAD real quick. Maybe it's rejecting off the zone right now, Vincent, so it might just drop. So we're not really sure if it's going to continue up or not, because in order for it to continue up, we would need confirmation that it breaks this structure right here, right? And if it breaks this structure, it's going to push up to test the next structure. So it could go up because we still do have a bullish bias on it. However, it's rejected off this point. So if it's rejected off this point and it comes down further and closes below here, then provides a sell signal like we did over here. Like you can see we had a sell signal. It broke structure right here. And then where'd it go? Came from here, way down here to this next structure. So depending on which structure it breaks, if it goes up, breaks this structure, then it'll continue up. If it goes down, breaks this structure, provides a sell signal like it did right here, then odds are it'll probably continue down further. So until we have confirmation, we won't really know because it's just within this range right here, within these two zones. So until it breaks above it or breaks below it with a sell signal, then we'll know exactly where it's going to continue moving. So if you're looking at GCAD, I'd be careful with that and just be patient for the entry to present itself, because you don't want to jump the gun and enter a trade like way too early, because that could be very detrimental to your position if you do. Let's see what else we got here. Nice. Braden said took a US 30 trade, left my computer, came back, hit TP. Nice work, Braden. Yeah, Braden was applying that strategy yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw Braden's strategy that he had. Hold on, let me just send this book over to you guys real quick, because I do have some people asking about the so if you guys are in the premium, I'm sending out the Trading in the Zone book there. So I just sent it in there in the premium Trade Talk right here. Kim asked for the book, so I'm uploading it right now. She's gonna get it. If you guys want to download it, it's completely free right there. I have it over here somewhere. Let's see. Yeah, so I have the whole book right here, pretty much the ebook. So it's all available there. It's a pretty long book, but if you like to read, it's available to you. Let's see what else we got here. I'm gonna keep going down the list. But yeah, oh yeah, I was gonna show you guys Braden's his trade yesterday. So he this is what I like to see from you guys, because Braden over here, he applied the K2 strategies to his, I mean the K2 indicators to his own analysis. So like what he did was he I think it was in this one over here. Yeah, he used price action and then he coupled it with the K2 indicator right here, right? So he identified price action right here. So he identified a hammer on the 5 minute. He waited for the sell signal. He took the sell signal and he hit full TP. This is what I love to see from K2 members, because the thing with the K2 indicators is that you don't have to use the K2 strategies. You can use the indicators to improve any strategy that you currently already apply. And it goes around, it works all around. Just depends on what your strategy is. And I can help you guys apply it to your strategy. So if you have a strategy that you're already applying and you want to use the K2 indicators on them to make it better, then I can always help you guys. So if you guys have the indicators, we'll get on a one-on-one session, and then I can help you improve the strategy that you guys are already applying. So that's it for that right there. Let's see what else we got over here. We'll keep going down the chat. Nice. Usman said, got out of the US 30 trade, made some good profits. Nice. So everyone's like making some decent plays on here. Velocity said, you're going to scalp US 30 plays for the third account. Not really Velocity. I'm probably going to trade maybe, I'll probably be trading the Forex trades on that specific account, since the Forex trades just hit pretty often as well. HL said, when you're talking about indices, and if you're talking about US 30 and rather indices, it is not points instead of pips. So points and pips are like totally different, HL. So, obviously if you're trading, if you're looking at points, it'll be this, like this number right here, like 49 points, right? Pips are the indices that you're trading. So you're just going to add a 0 to that, because the pips are measured as like, what is it? Mini pips, I think. Because if you look at, so let's check this out. We got CNBC over here. You can see that for the actual Dow Jones, it's moving like 36 points, right? So 36 points is going to be similar to right here, where it has moved from, market open for 36 points, etc. So if you see this right here, this is like 36 points or 37 points. However, for our position, if we add this right, so this is like 90 points, but in reality, it's 90 pips, because the pips are traded on the E-mini, which, I mean, it really depends on your broker, guys. So depending on your broker, if your broker values it by points or values it by pips, if you're looking at pips, you just add a 0 to it. It'll be 900 pips. If you're doing it by points, it's 90 points. But it's going to vary from broker to broker. So I don't know which broker you're using, HL, but wherever we trade on Forex stock. I mean, we trade on FTMO, and we also trade on Hugo's Way, which values it as pips, not points. So in reality, you just add a 0 to it. That's the main difference. But I know it is confusing for some people, but if you just add a 0 to it, it'll translate it from pips to points, basically, if that makes any sense to you. Let's see. See what else we got here. Hassan said it's going on with EU. So Hassan, if you looked, I mean, I don't know if you just joined the chat, Hassan, but right now they're having defense officials are holding a briefing on strategy for distributing COVID vaccines. So obviously, if the COVID vaccines are going to be, massively distributed, it's going to be good news for the US dollar, because then we're going to be combating the coronavirus, right? So if that happens, that's why the US dollar is coming down. All of the US dollar pairs are coming down, because the US dollar is gaining in strength after that news event. But like I mentioned before, they still haven't released the, I don't think they've released the COVID numbers for like Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and those holidays, because it's only been like a week or two. So once those new numbers come out and more lockdowns keep, getting set into place, like in my area, the lockdowns were alerted yesterday. So if that keeps happening, businesses keep closing down, the US dollar is just going to keep getting weaker and weaker. On top of that, if we have a stimulus, and there's been stimulus talk, throughout the week, if there's a stimulus that gets released and is official, the US dollar is going to get weak as well, because they're going to have to print money for that. And if they print money, it's going to lower the value of the US dollar. So I think overall it's still going to be weak. But right now, because of this news event with the vaccines being distributed, it's pushing the US dollar down across the board. So if you look at all the US dollar pairs, they're more likely than not, they're going down, or they're going towards the strength of the US dollar. So that's one way to analyze it, but there's a ton of different factors that also weigh in. So that's not the only reason why it's coming down. Let's see. So HL said pips is for FX, points is for indices, but whatever. HL points are for futures, not indices specifically. So I think that's where your confusion is as well, because for indices, a lot of them are traded on a Forex market. That's why they use pips. But if you're trading the future, like right here, we're using currency.com. So these are futures. And that's why it's measured by points. But if you go to Owanda, I mean, it's not a big deal. I don't know why people are making a big deal of it. But if you go to Owanda, look at the difference. It's pips, right? So that's the big difference. HL, Owanda is a Forex broker. That's why it's in pips. Currency.com is a futures broker. So that's why it's in points. So it's not a big deal, bro. You just add a 0 to it, and it just doesn't have the decimal. It has a full number because it's by points. So, just to clear the confusion for you guys, it's not a big difference. You just add a 0 to it. And there's like really no big difference. Let's see what else we got here. Black to Jerry said, and you use the K2SR strategy on the lower time frame. If so, how low can you go? So Black to Jerry, for the K2SR strategy, the lowest I recommend is the 1 hour, because if you go anything below that, I'm sure you're aware there's a lot of noise on those lower time frames, right? So that's why you would have to use it on. Sorry, I'm looking at my phone, guys. I got a couple messages here. That's why you would have to use it for that one specifically. Yeah, okay. Getting like a ton of questions right now, so I'm just taking a look at this right now currently. Yeah, we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, guys, back to what I was saying. So Black to Jerry, for the K2SR strategy, if you go on the, so I'll show you an example. Let me go to another pair over here, or I already have one that's set up. So I could go to AUDUSD. If you go on the 1 hour, you can see it works pretty decently on the 1 hour too, because price breaks below, it breaks structure, you get a buy signal, and then what happens from there? It goes on to the, obviously the next zone over here, right? So it works well on the 1 hour. This is probably as low as I'll go. But I still probably wouldn't use it because there's a lot of noise on the 1 hour as well. So that's why I highly recommend using it on the 4 hour, because when there's news events and stuff, it'll spike price around, especially on the 1 hour. And if you go on the 30-minute, there's a ton of like noise here as well. It does work, however, because you can see price breaks up into the structure. We get a sell signal, and it still does what it's supposed to do. However, you could get caught with a lot of false movements. Like right here, we have this price broke structure, sell signal appears, it goes to here, right? Price breaks the structure, goes up, buy signal, it goes from here up to there. So it does work on the 30-minute. However, I'm trying to look for a bad trade, like right here. So price breaks the structure, we had a sell signal, it does drop a little bit, but it doesn't necessarily go to the next zone, right? So that's what I mean about there being noise, because it'll spike price down. This might have been due to some news or something, spike price down, and then it spiked it right back up. So that's why I wouldn't go on the 30-minute. Although it does work, you can still make money trading it. It's just a bit risky. like right here, sell signal, price crosses above, breaks below the structure. You can take a sell position right here to the next zone. And then you would have locked in like 40 pips right there. So I haven't tested it on the 30 minutes. So you can go ahead and test it if you like, but it actually looks pretty good. So I might even try applying it myself because it does look like a pretty solid strategy. 30 pips. Yeah, it's actually pretty nice. It's pretty solid. So on the 30 minute, you could apply that there. However, me personally, I trade on the 4 hour because I don't want to be on my chart all day, you know? Some people like to be on the chart all day, but I've been trading for so long that it just doesn't, it takes away on your health if you're on your screen like literally 24/7. So like for me, I'd rather trade on the 4 hour so I can take this trade right here, breaks the structure, sell signal, and then ride it to the next zone for like 100 pips instead of me having to look at the chart every 30 minutes or every hour. But you can go ahead and backtest that, see how you like it. But it could be it could provide some interesting results probably. Looks like US30 broke the structure. We're going to delete that. It's going to drop even further now, it looks like, to there, and then probably bounce off from that point. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, Black Jerry's in GA right now. So let me pull up GA. Nice. So GA right here, it looks like it broke this structure over here. So if this closes within the next 2 hours, then we could anticipate it to continue down to this zone right here for a push of 40 pips. So we have a bearish bias right here, Black Jerry, because we have the most recent signal was a sell signal. And then on top of that, we had price come down, reject off this point. And it's the same thing that I've been mentioning this whole time, guys. So price pretty much goes from zone to zone. So price went from here to this zone right here, and then it bounced up to this zone right here. So now what do we expect to happen from here? It's going to continue down and probably test this zone, if not push down further to this zone right here. So that's pretty much what I see happening there for GA. But, you know, like I mentioned, I would wait for this to close below because the last thing you want to do is enter a sell and then it retraces on you. But you said you're already in the trade, and I'm assuming that, so I'm assuming that you, that you're in a sell right now, hopefully, because I mean, a lot of things indicate that it's in a sell. Like for one, it's in a downtrend, obviously. That's one confirmation. Number two, momentum's pushing down. Number three, price is breaking the structure. Number four, we turn on the K2 pivots. It's in a strong downtrend. Turn that off. And there's just so many factors indicating that it's going to, you know, continue down further. So and we'll see how that plays out. Let's see. Indra is asking, Shawn, could you take a look at GU? So let me pull up GU real quick. So we just looked at GA, pull up GU over here. So GU right here, this is, I would probably not enter this trade yet because like I mentioned before, the US dollar is being manipulated right now because of the news that's happening. So the problem with this is if you enter a sell right here and the news is over, or, you know, the briefing that they're having, it could spike right back up. So I personally wouldn't enter that just yet, just for the sake of news, because there's a lot that could happen from here, guys. What could happen is it can continue down, or what happens is after this briefing is over, because this happens all the time, guys. When there's something that happens right here, there's some sort of briefing, it'll spike price in one direction, right? It'll go down for like maybe a couple hours. And then when you least expect it, it just ends up spiking right back up into correction, right? So that's why I wouldn't enter the GU for a sell right now, even though it's dropping like this, because this is all news driven right now. This is dropping because of the briefing of the vaccine distribution. Once that talk is done and there's new coronavirus news that comes out and they say something, you know, along the lines of, oh, we're going to shut down everything again because things are getting worse. We're in the winter, it's getting colder, so people are going to keep getting sick, and they just start shutting stuff down. Then it's just going to spike price way back up. On top of that, if they release something about the stimulus, I think there was news recently. Let me see, stimulus. So there was news about the stimulus on today, actually. So right now, this morning, Jim Cramer was like weighs in on Mnuchin's, 916 billion stimulus proposal. So the problem with this is, where's the U.S. going to get this money? They're going to have to print this money, and when they print the money, they lower the value of the U.S. dollar. So when that happens and this gets printed, or if this gets agreed upon, it's going to spike it right back up, because if they print money, the U.S. dollar is not going to be worth as much. So that's one factor to take into mind. Me personally, I'd probably just hang tight, and I wouldn't chase this little movement right here, because the last thing you want to do is enter a sell right here, because you see this big spike, you want to like FOMO into this trade. So you're like, oh, it's dropping so heavily, and then you enter that trade right there, and then as soon as you least expect it, it spikes right back up and stops you out. So I personally would hold off and not follow the the hype with this move down here, because I would wait how the market reacts after this this news event is over with, wherever it's at. Yeah, until after the that briefing is over, because we'd have to see how people react to the news after that's passed. So there's a lot of different factors, guys. There's not just one thing to look at when you're trading. I know a lot of people just want to look at the technicals, which obviously these technicals look nice because it's coming down. However, a lot of people don't realize that this is news driven, because a lot of people don't look at the news. They don't know what's going on, behind the scenes, because there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that will basically trick you. Because if you didn't know that there was a briefing going on regarding the coronavirus being the COVID vaccine being distributed, you wouldn't know why this drop here happened, because this is such a random drop. This drop happened causing a 70 pip drop. That doesn't normally happen for no reason. There's obviously something going on when there's something going on that caused this drop to happen here. So what your job is to wait and see how price reacts to that news. You don't want to hop in when the news is happening. You want to hop in like maybe an hour later, because if this spikes back up, then what happens? You enter a buy position, and then you pretty much just ride that thing all the way up. You don't get caught in that noise that's happening because of the current events. So I'd hold off on that, Indra, because you don't want to get caught on the wrong side of the market after price starts to react to it more properly. So we'll see how that plays out. But for now, I would just wait. We have 2 hours left in this candle. So once this candle closes at 10 a.m., then we can go ahead and analyze for some new trades. Looking at US 30, right, it's doing exactly what I was anticipating, guys. So like I mentioned before, I'm anticipating it to drop even further and test this zone right here before it either shoots back up or breaks below it and continues down further. So two scenarios that can play out for US 30 here, but we're going to keep checking back on it. I do have my alert set up, and we still have about 2 hours left until 10 a.m. where it might be a little too late to enter this specific trade. So let me keep going down over here. Velocity said, send me the ebook. Don't use Audible. It's hard to pay attention to Audible. Yeah, Velocity. So before, when I used to drive to work, I used to commute to work when I was still an attorney, I was in the car like almost 4 hours a day, bro. I was in traffic for 2 hours one way, in traffic for 2 hours the other way. So I would always have Audible and audiobooks playing in my car so I could listen to those books on my way home and on my way to work. So that's why I use Audible, but I did post it in the chat. Velocity, if you saw it, I posted it somewhere down here in the Trade Talk group, I think. Yeah, it's right here. So if you guys wanna have this, you can grab it. Let me see. Gmis said that he sent his. All right, let me check this real quick. Sorry, I just got a couple of messages right here. People trying to get the indicators. So let me just see if I could figure out where that came from. because we have a bunch of people that signed up recently. All right, I'll look at this later, guys. Let me see. Oh, okay, I see. Hey, George. George right here. Or Gmist. I'll get to you later. I'm not sure who are you here that emailed me, because I have a ton of emails. But let me get back to the charts real quick. And then I'll get back to you guys. So if any of you guys are messaging me on Telegram, I got like 13 messages, guys. So I can't get to your messages now because I'm on the live. But if you want to message me directly, then I could probably take a look. But right now, I think I'm just doing way too much right now, guys. So I'm not going to go through the messages yet. But I will go. I will go through them once we hit 10. Once I call the last trades for the New York session, then I'll take a look, and then we can go into that further. But let me go back to the chat, see what else is going on here. Tony said, I've learned different strategies, but this is by far the best one. Yeah, definitely, Tony. So like for this, if you learn any of these strategies here, or if you learn the K2SR strategy, then that's pretty much all you need, because I only applied 2 strategies. So if you go on the course and you look at the strategies here, this is the strategy I use for every Forex trade, the K2SR zone trading strategy. And lastly, the US 30 strategy, the daily US 30 strategy. So these are the only 2 strategies I use. If you want to, yield the same results as I do every single day, you'll just have to master these 2, and they're not that hard. They're actually very, very simple. But let me go back to the chat over here, see what else is going on. Tony said this admin didn't purchase enough vaccine from Pfizer. Won't be. Yeah, no, I saw that on CNBC as well. So I was looking at CNBC, I was seeing that like Trump was trying to, I guess, basically sabotage it, because he didn't buy the vaccines. And then the UK ended up buying all the vaccines from Pfizer. So it's going to take a lot longer for, new vaccines to be distributed. So we're still going to be in this for like another year, guys. So hopefully it'll keep volatility up. Hopefully it'll stop messing with our positions, but hopefully it'll just keep volatility pushing. Let me see. Black to Jerry. Yeah, Black to Jerry. So if you, if everything is part of the official training, because it's all here. So this is, like I mentioned earlier, this is the strategy I use for all Forex signals on the 4-hour time frame, and then the daily entry for US 30 as well that we call every morning. So those are the 2 strategies I use. I don't use anything else. That's pretty much it. Let me see what else we got here. Nice. Dennis said, I'm in there now. Just confirm my K2 trial for the pig win. Awesome. Tony said, do you have an affiliate program? I would want to promote K2 and get people to join. So Tony, we don't have an affiliate program right now. We did have one a long time ago, but we did have some issues with our processor. So we had to cancel that. But we might be running it. We might have it up and running again, maybe next year. So I need to find a new provider that's reliable. And then once we have that all figured out, then maybe we'll start having that, and then it'll be available to, the K2 members. Let's see what's going on here. David said, any Lennon Group people here? Yeah, I think there's a whole bunch here, David. Let's see. David said, UK 100 back to TP1 could melt if we break this little resistance. Let's see. David said to check out his Google message. Let me see what he sent me. Damn. So these are David's profits right here. David's fucking killing it. So if you guys are in the UK group, the UK K2 group, damn, David's killing. Look at his profits right here. David locked in 2,289 last night. Shit. I gotta stay up for London session with you guys so I can take those trades with you guys, because you guys have been literally killing it on the London session using the K2 strategy. Let's see. What else we got here? Usman said, David, I'm in that group, took one UK 100 and got out TP1. Nice. While he was sleeping. Nice work, Usman. Flynn said FTMO US 30 prices getting closer to regular broker prices. Yeah, so it looks like the volatility for for US 30 is really picking up, and then it's creating, a tighter spread among brokers with regard to price. Joe said it's about time. I'm not sure why there was such a big difference to begin with. Oh, exactly. No, 100%. That's what I was saying too. City said, could you give us an example of the K2SR strategy on the 1 hour time frame and how you would apply it? I would assume that would be better for scalping if I'm wrong. Am I wrong? So any lower time frame, City, would be good. It doesn't really matter all that much. So let me go ahead and check this over here and pull this up over here. Let me just open a fresh chart so that I can show you guys what City is requesting. He wants me to apply the K2SR strategy on the 1 hour time frame. So let me see this real quick. So even though we're trading on the 1 hour, I would still draw my zones on the 4 hour. So let me go over to something like AU, and then or let me go to something that's a little cleaner. Something that's the zones have been like cleanly established for. Okay, so right here, EA. So EA, I'm gonna go on the 4 hour, and I'm going to draw these, or I could go on the 1 hour as well, actually. Since we're trading this, I can just go ahead and draw my zones here real quick. You guys can see how fast and how easy it is to draw your zones once you get good at this. I can literally analyze and draw my zones up within a few seconds. It doesn't take that long, like less than a minute. And then once you have these zones up, you can start looking for any possible entries. So right here, I drew my zones up. The reason why I don't really like drawing zones on the 1 hour is because, like I mentioned, there's a lot of noise on the lower time frames. So yeah, technically you could scalp on here because the movements are going to be a lot tighter. They'll probably be about like a 20 pip to 30 pip move. But just having this right there, I drew my zones. You saw how quick that was, a few seconds. And there's the 1 hour chart. After that, you can turn on the K2 momentum indicator. And so I'll show you an example right here. So here's an example over here of how you would apply this, this specific strategy. So like right here, City, we have a price break this structure right here, right? So I'll put the requirements up here. It's super simple. K2 SR zone trading strategy. And this is going to be 1, identify break and close past K2 SR level. 2, confirm direction of momentum using the K2 momentum indicator. And then lastly, enter on the open of the following candle. So you guys can see how easy the strategy is. It's super simple. Identify a break and close past the K2 SR level, right? Price is broken, close past the level right here. Confirm the direction of momentum using the K2 momentum indicator right here. The last signal was a buy signal. So momentum is going to be swinging upwards, right? Like it did right here to this zone. Since price broke this zone right here, we could anticipate it to reach this zone right here and possibly shoot even further to this zone right here. So if we were to enter a long position right here, we could place our TP somewhere around there on 15 pips if you want to scalp. And if you did that, you can let this run and then hit full TP right there. And if you want to go even further to this zone up here, you can do that as well, because you can see price broke the zone and then it looks like it hit full TP there for about 60 pips. So you can literally take off your TP and pretty much just write it up. So there's an example, City, of how you would apply it on the 1 hour. Me personally, like I mentioned, I don't like to be on the chart that often. So I traded on the 4 hour. So I only need to be on the chart maybe 4 or 6 times a day instead of having to be on the chart for 24 hours a day, looking every hour to see if there's any entries. But it does apply on the 1 hour, like you can see right here. And it's the same exact requirements as we would if we were applying it on the 4 hour. So let me keep going down here. Yeah, exactly. So Velocity said, I wouldn't use the zones on the 1 hour here. If you're aiming to copy the 4 hour strategy on the 1 hour, I draw the zones I don't think the zones are big enough for wiggle room. So yeah, it just really depends on how you'd want to apply it. You can draw the zones on the, I personally would draw the zones on the 4 hour, versus the 1 hour. But if you wanted to, it works here just as well, like I just mentioned earlier. Let's see. Delraj said, Shawn, do you still use a 30-minute strategy with a trend meter? I personally don't use it anymore because, like I mentioned, I don't like to be on the chart anymore, like all day. If you're on the 30-minute time frame, you got to be on the chart like for hours and hours on end, waiting for that specific entry. However, a lot of people here still use it, and it still works perfectly fine. So if you're applying the 30-minute strategy or the 30-minute intraday strategy, it still works perfectly fine. So let me see if I can find an entry right here. Let me just I'll just rewind this. So if you're applying the 30-minute strategy, it still works perfectly fine. So like, for example, right here, we have a buy signal and it matches the trend meter. So if you're using the intraday strategy, it's super simple as well. This is going to be the K² intraday strategy, 30-minute time frame. And this is just the basic one, guys. So for this, you're just going to identify a valid K² signal. Second, you're going to confirm K² trend meter matches signal. And then you can enter on the open of the following candle. So it's really simple. It's very similar to the other strategy I just showed you. There's only like 3 requirements. So you have a valid K² signal right here. It matches the trend meter. They're both green and green. You enter on the open of the following candle right here. You place your stop loss at the previous swing somewhere around here, about let's say 40 pips, just to round off, and then you pretty much let it run, and then it hits full TP right there. So the strategy still works. It's just I don't like to be on the computer all day anymore, so I don't apply it. But you can use this on other time frames as well. It's not only on the 30-minute, but it does work the best on the 30-minute. Let's see what else we got here. Nice. Yeah. So Black Jerry said that he traded on 30 minutes. So you can apply it on there as well. It's just you're going to run into, some noise and stuff within there. So let's see. Yeah, City. So the zones should still be drawn on the 4-hour because it gives you a bigger picture as to how the market's going to move for the rest of the week. So I would draw it on the 4-hour, but if you want to draw it on the lower time frames, you can as well. It's just you're going to get a lot of false areas of rejection, or you might get too many zones where you're going to miss a lot of trades. Let's see what else is here. Let's see. Yeah, Dominic said your USD is dropping hard. Yeah, obviously because of the news. The same thing I mentioned earlier. All the USD pairs are dropping, guys. So if you guys don't understand what I mentioned earlier, all of the USD pairs are dropping because there's the briefing still going on about the distribution of the vaccine. So hopefully some of you guys got out of that trade when you were able to, when it hit TP. Especially AU right here because it hit TP for 40 pips. I unfortunately didn't get out of those trades because I was sleeping. So one of my rules is to not have trades open overnight, but that's my bad for leaving it open, and I don't mind it. It's fine. It happened, and there's nothing that I can do about it. So, I pretty much just got to eat that loss if it ends up happening. But I mean, we'll see. We'll wait and see how everything plays out, guys. Like, there's no guarantee it's going to continue dropping. It could reject right back up at any time. Especially because it's at a structure. So. If people who are trading based on technicals, if they see this and they're not, factoring the news, we can have like a big order just push this right back up. If people want to try to buy this little dip in price. So you just have to wait and see how the news plays out because the news is still going on right now. And it's just going to benefit the US dollar until we have something to counteract that. Let's see. David said, I'm in GU sell from earlier this morning. There's intraday USD strength. Yeah, exactly. So there is intraday USD strength, but I do see it, overall, if you look at it from probably a weekly perspective or even monthly, I think it's going to be weak because of that specific reason, because, COVID's not going to go anywhere. If a stimulus plan gets sent out, it's going to be bad for the US dollar. If the COVID numbers go up, that's also going to be bad because it's going to lead to shutdowns. So we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. You know, all you can do at this point is hang on. That's literally all we can do for all of our positions, because I don't want to get caught in this right here. So a lot of people get scared. They close out their positions. What happens right after? It shoots up to full TP. So I've been doing this for long enough to know these these little tricks that happen based on the news. So we'll see how this ends up playing out. Oh, guys, check this out. Your US 30 did exactly what I said. Remember what I mentioned earlier this morning, guys? It came down, rejected off the zone. It was way up here when we were talking about that. It rejected off the zone, and then now it's bouncing up. So if we get a buy signal, then we could enter that buy, because a whole bunch of people are going to try to buy that dip. And then it gives us enough cushion for us to pretty much ride this up right here, right? So it did exactly what we thought it would do. Came down, tested the zone, rejected right back up. And now if we get that buy signal, it's probably going to continue up. So that's what we're waiting for right now. I do have my alert set up, so I will be waiting for that to happen. So let's see what else we got over here. Yeah, David said, I highly do not recommend getting into any new USD positions for the rest of today. That's what, and reason for that, guys, is because I mentioned this move is based on the news. So it can literally spike up and correct, or it can spike down and follow, whatever momentum was pushed from this news. But we really don't know what will happen. So we definitely want to be careful with that, because the news is going to be conflicting once the new COVID cases come out and once the stimulus talk starts to come out. And there's a ton of different factors, guys. So don't think that this is all based on technical analysis. None of this is based on technical analysis. This is based on news happening around coronavirus right now. And that's why I keep updating this, because I want to see if there's something new that pushes price back up. And if I look at the news over here, yeah, so there's a lot of different news events that are happening today overall, but nothing that's directly affecting the US pairs overall. Because, so we have this right here. I guess there's good news for like US sales. It says that wholesale inventories increased, and then sales have started to surge. So this would have helped push the US dollar in strength as well. So there's a lot of different factors, guys. It's not just COVID. There is there's the US sales and stuff, there's unemployment, there's a million things to look at that could affect the market. So that's why I'm not worried about this, and I'm just letting it play out. See what else we got here. Hassan said, EU's tripping, I need some stimulus release ASAP. Yeah, so if they release a stimulus plan or proposal, or they agree on something, which can happen at any time, guys. Keep in mind that Congress and the government, you don't know what they're talking about behind closed doors. Like, they could be talking about the stimulus right now, and they spike price down right here, and then all of a sudden there's a news flash that happens and says, oh, Pelosi and Mnuchin have decided on a stimulus plan. And then if they decide on it, you could see the spike up, because they're going to be printing like billions of US dollars, which is going to weaken the US dollar strength. So keep that in mind, guys. It's an open game. There's no guaranteed direction of movement. But let me see what else we got here. So Jason said, so when you take your US 30 trades, do you take twin trades at 15 lot? No, dude, that's way too much for me, because, or I guess technically I do, because I have two accounts, but they're not merged yet. They're separate accounts. So on both of the accounts, if I take a twin position, I take, 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. So I take a 7.5 or a 7.0, two of them, which add up to 15. So I guess if the accounts were merged, it would count as a double 15 lot. But since they're separate accounts, I necessarily take a 7.5 on each account per trade. So they do add up to 15 each, but if I'm talking about a specific account, because if you look at my profits here, they're all either like Yeah, so here are my profits right here, or no, this one right here. So you can see they're 15, or if I split them up, they become 7 and 7, Jason. So I don't know if you saw this when I posted up my results from last week, but basically the way that I take them is they're either a full 15 or if I split them, they're 7 and 7, but I have 2 accounts. So they're split amongst, 2 separate accounts. So just depending on how I trade it, it'll be around something like that. Yeah, sure. No problem, Jason. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do it. I mean, you could even take 3, like some people, what they do is they take 3 positions. They'll have like one position that goes to TP1. They'll have one position that, there's a ton of different ways to apply it, which will come out to the same end result. But depending on how you want to actively manage your trade, you can either just merge them into one position, or you can split them in just, one full position instead. If you don't mind just going for, TP1 or adjusting your stop loss and profit as it moves up with it. See what else we got here. Let me pull up US 30 again. Here it goes. It's probably going to come down and test it again. And then, like I mentioned, it's going to test it. It could either break below it or it can bounce above it. So 2 scenarios right here. We'll see how this plays out. It is 8:19, so we still have some time, guys. And we're in no rush to enter this trade. We just want to make sure that we catch it before, or we catch the other direction as it swings back up. Let me see what else we got here. Velocity said Aussie pairs are bullish. Yeah, exactly. All Aussie pairs are bullish except for AU, obviously, because of the US news. But the rest of them are pretty bullish. Or they're all like, I mean, they're all dropping down, actually, velocity. I don't know when you sent that message, but overall they're bullish, but they're all pulling back right now. And I'm assuming this is due to the COVID news as well. So this is like something you don't want to get caught in. Like I mentioned, all of these right here are dropping, right? So they have this little drop right here, but after some other conflicting news is released, this could easily spike right back up into correction to, the overall movement of price, because this is all just temporary right now. I don't think this is grounds for a reversal. I think it's just people that are speculating in the market and taking sells, pushing price down. But I think it's going to, bounce back eventually. Let's see. Dominic's asking, do you think USD CHF will drop too? I think so, because like I mentioned before, so this is pushing up right now because of the news, right, that I just mentioned, but it's still in an overall downtrend, because so the difference with USD CHF and other pairs is that the CHF Swiss franc is a safe haven currency. So if COVID is bad, if there's bad COVID news, it's going to go down. If there's good COVID news, it's going to go up. So right now we have that little discussion for the distribution of COVID vaccines. That's why it's going up right now. But overall, COVID's not going anywhere. COVID's not going anywhere. The US dollar is not going to get any stronger until we have, a legit vaccine that can be massively distributed. So until that happens, this is probably going to continue down further. And if you guys followed my previous webinars, the next zone is like, I don't even know how far is it. It's like so far down where it's way down here, guys. So this zone is way down here. So if I go on the higher time frame, let me just show you guys. And the reason for that is because price hasn't been in this area for like years. So check this out. So the last time price was down in this area was way back in 2014. And then again, 2012 and 2011 for that flash crash that happened for the Swiss franc, right? So right here, I mean, it's going to run into some areas where it might reject from, but it can literally pull down like super far. So the next area of rejection might be around this point over here, possible area of rejection. But even at that, it still has a long way to go. It still has about 100 pips to go, and 100 pips for USD CHF is actually a lot of pips. So, or I mean, it's worth a lot with regard to the pip number. So I think it'll continue down. Sorry, I'm trying to see who asked the question. I think it'll continue down, Dominic. We just have to wait and see how the market reacts to the COVID news after the hype has died down. Because, obviously this is a little hype right here because people are like all excited that a vaccine is coming. But we don't know the details of that, or if it's going to be massively distributed anytime soon. So we will hold off on that right now. Other than that, we will continue to look at US 30. City said should have held US 30, would have hit full. Yeah, no, for sure, City. The same one that's what I was mentioning before. Maybe the stop loss should have been a little wider, but I mean, it's fine. What's happened has happened, and we can't really change that. So for that sell that I gave yesterday, because I think my stop loss was just a little too tight. Because if you Dennis said a KT trader is a happy trader, definitely. Nice. Look at Kim over here. Kim killed it. She held the US 30 overnight, the one that technically would have hit stop loss, and she hit full TP. So this is what I mean, guys, about the market being manipulated, because I did send this trade over here. I said it was a speculative trade where it was like I wasn't really expecting anything, but I took it anyways, just for shits and giggles, basically. And what happened was it ended up getting stopped out, unfortunately, but it could have easily hit TP if you guys took off your TP or something like that. I don't know what happened to it. Oh, it's right here. So I took a speculative trade right here, but the stop loss was just too tight. So if you took it, you would have ended up hitting full TP at this point. So nice work. David said he got his web terminal working so he can trade at work now. Perfect. So David, you just got to make enough money so you can quit your job already, bro. Because I know that's the goal. Exactly what I did last year. Let's see what else we got over here. We got, let's see if there's any other questions. HL said Dow Jones will not go up unless the stimulus pack becomes reality. I don't think necessarily the stimulus pack will affect US 30 all that much, HL. I think it's more so about the economic data, like with regard to COVID and stuff, because the US 30 is based on a stock index. It's not like Forex where it's going to affect the US dollar. Like the US 30 doesn't move based on the US dollar. It moves based on the stocks that are within that index. Let me check this real quick. See if I could find it right here, because I did have them here. Okay, so I have it right here. These are all the stocks within the Dow. So even if we get stimulus, it doesn't mean that money is going to be going to these specific stocks. Like obviously people will put money into stuff, certain things, but there's a lot of other factors. So like if the COVID vaccine comes out and people can travel again, then Boeing right here, which is on the Dow 30, will go up, right? So if that goes up, then the Dow's going to go up. The same with American Express. If people are traveling, a lot of people have an American Express Platinum card like I do. And, if we could travel again, we can start using the card and people start getting points and stuff like that and start buying stuff. So that's going to push it up as well. Chevron's going to go up as well, because if the COVID goes away, then people will start traveling again. Johnson & Johnson, there's a ton of different things here that will push it up. I don't think it's necessarily the stimulus that's going to push up US 30. What's going to push up with regard to the stimulus would be the US dollar. So if we get a stimulus, then that's going to push the dollar in the opposite direction. It'll push this back down, because when the stimulus is released, they need to print money, and when they print money, it's going to lower the value of the US dollar. So I think the US dollar currency would be more affected with the stimulus rather than the Dow 30. I think coronavirus news would be more beneficial in influencing the US 30, because if you look at the stock index, like I mentioned here, a lot of these here are, they're not directly correlated with COVID, but obviously if COVID goes away, these businesses can continue to flourish. Let me see what else we got here. Braden said, say you got 300K accounts, would you take the same trades on all 3 accounts? Braden, so once I get all 300K accounts on on FTMO, I'm going to merge them into one big account so I can just take one big position, because what I do now is I do copy my trades from my main FTMO account to my other FTMO and to my personal account so that I can take US 30 3 times. I take it on my main FTMO, my second 100K FTMO, and then also my personal account where I also make profits on there as well. And that's why when you guys see me post my profits, I post like 3 different profits sometimes, because I have my personal account right here where I made like, about $1,000 last week. And then I had my other one right here where I made about 5,000. And then I also made like, I just have 3 accounts. So I always post 3. Oh, right here. Sorry. So I have one right here where I made like 6,000 on that first one. The second one I made about 5,000. And then my personal account where I made about 1,000. So I have 3 different accounts, but once I have the third one, I'm going to be merging them together because it's just way too much work if I have to go in, pretty much copy my trades to each platform. Let's see. Velocity said, how many points did US 30 drop from top there? Let me pull up US 30 real quick. So from the very top, it dropped about 247 points, and then translating that to pips, 2,470 pips. So it's a huge drop. 247 points and 2,470 pips. That's a pretty big drop. So check this out, guys. I do have this lined up right here. You can see that the last time it tested it right here, it pushed it up slightly, but not that hard. But you guys got to keep in mind. So like what I was talking about earlier, guys, you guys have to analyze, all your trades like you're playing chess. So right here, you can see this rejection at this point, right? What do you think other people are looking for? People are looking to buy the dip, right? So people are probably going to buy the dip right here, and then it might push price up a little bit. But you also have to look at things from the perspective of the market makers and institutions. If they see people buying the dip, what are they going to do? They're going to push price up slightly up. And then what they might do is dump it again, right? So you guys have to keep that in mind before you get all like gung-ho about entering this buy right here. That's why we're waiting for that signal, because we want the confirmation that momentum is actually swinging up, and it's not just a little push up to lure people in for buys, because right now it's in a critical price point. Right here, it could either push up, like I mentioned before, it could shoot up, or it can shoot up from here and it can drop because the market makers want to screw with people, or it can just drop from here immediately and continue farther down. So right now there's 3 scenarios going on. There's a price could either reject back up. This is going to be scenario number 1, price rejects back up. Scenario number 2 is it'll push up slightly before it continues dropping. Or scenario number 3, it can drop immediately from here, break the structure, and continue down further. So I usually like at least 2 scenarios. 3 scenarios is kind of pushing it because there's room for a lot of fake outs and a lot of manipulation in the market. So there's 3 different things that can happen here. And that's why we just need to be patient and wait for something to happen. Because last thing you want to do is enter a buy right here, right? Because you think that price is going to come up, and then your stop loss is like right here. And then what happens is it comes up a little bit, and then it pulls right back down and stops you out. So that's one scenario there. Another scenario here is you might think it's going to continue dropping, so you enter a short position right here. What happens is price comes down, test the structure again, spikes up, stops you out. Or another one where you enter a sell here, and then it just ends up skyrocketing, right? So there's a couple scenarios there, and that's what I mean about analyzing each trade from a lot of perspectives, because you guys want to be like 100% with every trade. You want to be 100% positive and confident instead of having to worry, because I know a lot of people take trades and they're sweating. They're like literally sweating because they don't know what's going on, and they're here like blowing up DMs like, hey, Shawn, what's going to happen here? What's going to happen there? And I'm like, bro, you should have analyzed it before you entered the trade, because if you analyze it properly, then you wouldn't be so worried about your trade and wondering what's going to happen, because you would have already known. So like for me, I always take a calculated risk, guys. I try to weigh the pros and cons. I'm like, if I enter, a buy position here, then obviously I'm going to weigh my pros and cons. Like, what are the odds of it coming back down? Are the odds high or the odds low? If the odds are high, I'm probably not going to take this trade, because I'm not going to risk, this trade just because I'm trying to follow the little hype with a spike in price back up. HL said, basically Dow J is the only index designed to go up. What do I mean? If any company is performing bad, they will just kick it out and replace it with another with better performance. But for now, all indices will be affected by the stimulus pack. Well, yeah, obviously the stimulus is going to get affected, bro, but it doesn't matter if these stocks are on here or if they swap them. They don't swap these all that often. Like if you've looked at the Dow, they swap them if they're doing horribly, but these companies aren't going to go anywhere. So they're not going to take these companies out and put something in just because they dropped, a certain amount. And that's what I mean about the stimulus, because even though people get money for stimulus, it doesn't mean they're going to go buy an American Express card. It doesn't mean they're going to go buy a new Apple computer, or they're going to go invest in Goldman Sachs or go buy gas or anything like that. The money isn't necessarily going to flow to these stocks right here. But you do have a point. I mean, obviously, when people get stimulus, they're going to spend money on stuff, right? But it just doesn't necessarily correlate directly with the Dow, because if you look at the S&P, or you look at the NASDAQ, there's like all these other ones. But so this is a better example, because NASDAQ is all these tech stocks, right? All these tech stocks here, and people are working from home. If they're working from home, they're going to be buying stuff like Zoom. I don't know what else is on here. Facebook ads. People are going to be investing more in Facebook ads because they want to keep growing their business until they're going to buy computers, stuff like that. There's a lot of different factors that factor in. But what I'm trying to say is that the stimulus isn't going to directly affect it 100%, because what happened last time when the last stimulus came out, it didn't necessarily push it up like everyone thought it would. It pushed it to some extent, but most of the push was due to the coronavirus news. But that's definitely another factor to put into consideration. Stimulus does have an effect, but I don't think it's enough to really push it up, because even if they swap these out, it doesn't mean that people are putting money into those specific stocks that get swapped back in with regard to, the stimulus money that gets sent out. And the stimulus money isn't that much, guys. It's only like so much money where people aren't going to be able to invest with their stimulus money to make a huge impact on the market. Let me see. Ron Mexico said London Group, she broke. So you guys are looking at NASDAQ, right? So let's pull up NASDAQ real quick. Did you guys enter a sell for that? David, let me see. I'm going to go to midnight. So people are applying the K2 strategy for London as well. So right here was the London Open. It looks like you guys took this sell right here, right? Yeah, so it looks like you guys took that full TP. Let me look at the London chat. Nice. So Mark killed it right here. He made about 3K on that one. Real nice. Man, I'm gonna have to stay up with you guys to take this London entry, because I don't. I'm gonna have to check that out so we can make some profit off that as well. But yeah, NASDAQ looks good, guys. It's still dropping like crazy. Let me see where the US 30 is. So we're still waiting for this right here. I'm waiting for the bounce to shoot it back up, but we'll see how this plays out. It's about 8:30, guys. We have about 1 hour and 20 minutes from the next 4-hour candle close. So I can go ahead and just scan through here to see if there's anything available for us to look at. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and I can take a look at any pair that you guys want me to look at. But just a reminder, guys, there was some COVID news that came out this morning with regard to there was some COVID news that came out this morning with regard to the distribution of the vaccine. So the thing with the thing with the market right now is that it's being heavily manipulated. So you can see prices coming down right here. But once the news stuff is like done with, it can do one of two things. It can either correct back up to where it was before this drop, or if the hype continues, it just keeps pushing it down further. So it's going to be a bit risky to enter some trades right now, but I'm going to try to look for some if we could find any before we look for the next. Yeah, David said, do not enter any trades right now. Yeah, we're not entering anything right now. So we still have an hour and a half. Yeah, exactly. Because yeah, like I mentioned, you know, see, if you look at all these pairs here, they're all dropping because of the COVID news. So the thing with these pairs right here is, like I mentioned, they can either correct back up or they'll continue to drop. So that's why you don't want to get caught in any of these unusual movements, because if you get caught, then as soon as you enter that trade, it might just reverse on you. Man, this was a Euro CHF trade that I saw yesterday. I was going to call this yesterday, but I forgot what happened. It was around 6 a.m. Oh, because the market was just moving slow yesterday. So I didn't call it, and then all of a sudden it decided to drop. EJ, nothing there. EN, EU. Geez, my EU is about to hit stop loss. Fuck it. I'm not going to look at it. So you guys can see that I do take losses, guys. I don't always win. But the thing is, it's all about risk management. You know, like I didn't realize that the COVID news was going to come out this morning. So like, I'm proud to show you guys that I take losses too. The only thing is that my wins outweigh my losses. So I can eat this loss. It's whatever. Because I know tomorrow and the next day and the day after that and the week after that, I'm going to have like another hot streak like we did last week. So, you know, I'm 100% transparent with you guys that like, you know, I do suffer losses just like you guys too. But the thing is, I don't let this affect me. You know, if I take a loss, I just eat the loss, move on to the next one. That's why I'm laughing about it. Like a lot of people might be sweating if they're down this much. But for me, I've already made a ton of profit this year, guys. So if you guys look at the results for the year, I generally trade around a standard lot. So if you look at the results for the year for Forex right here, you know, we're up heavily, guys. We're up 18,444 pips, you know, for a gain of around 200K if you're trading a standard lot. So if you're trading a standard lot like I normally do for my Forex trades, it's, you know, this is around the profit potential. So if I'm losing 500 bucks, I'm not really upset about it because I'm going to bounce back on the next trade. So that's how you guys have to analyze. That's how you guys have to look at the market, guys. Don't look at it from like one loss and then like be so discouraged to take the next trade, because it's a back and forth game. Like if you guys look at all of our results, here, I can even pull it up here. So our results for like October, you guys can see that we kind of had like a bit of a rocky start. So, you know, our first trades right here, we had full TP, straight full TPs, right? And then we hit some stop loss. I was like -7 for that day. And then we bounced back with a positive 135 pips the following day. So that's why when we take these losses, like one day I had one loss for 55 pips and they just balance out. So I have like good hot streak days. And then I have a day where I have a loss where I make no profit. And then I have like, you know, mid-October, we have a bunch of losses here, but then we bounce right back with like huge wins after that. So if you look at our results for October, this is supposed to say October, sorry, it's a typo. This just indicates that, you know, we do have some losses, but then at the end of the week, we're still in profit. So just keep that in mind, guys, because I know a lot of people freak out about taking losses, or they just want to give up on trading because they've suffered a loss. But that shouldn't be the case, guys, because you're going to bounce back regardless. And if you're trading with K2, you guys have seen that we're pretty consistent. Like I trade every single day. I go live every single day. And you guys can see that I trade the same way every single day. I don't change anything. Pretty much same thing day in, day out. So guys, we have a pending buy signal here for US 30, which I guess we'll be taking. If it closes, we got about 7 minutes left on the candle. So if it does close, I will call it here for you guys live, and then you guys can take the trade with us. Dominic said, you send the US 30 signal in the premium group? Yes, I do. So when I take this trade, if it's a valid entry, I'll be sending it in the premium group so you guys can have all the parameters. So if you guys want to have all of my trades real time, you guys can join the premium. It's only like $50 for the first month. So, I mean, you make that back with one trade. Literally one US 30 trade. If you take the smallest lot size, like a 0.01, you'll make 150 off one trade if it's full TP. If it hits TP1, you still make $75. That covers your whole month subscription to K2. And then it opens you up to a whole bunch of opportunities for, you know, the rest of my trades that I take for the rest of the week, the month, the year, etc. So let's see. Blank Space said, gold, please, sir. And Velocity said, don't trade gold. And Blank Space said, why? So I'll take a look at gold right now, Blank Space. But I'm going to wait for this to, actually we got 6 minutes, so I could take a look at it real quick. David said, Braden, take a quarter point to quarter point trailing your stop. Any news event can cause US 30 to spike randomly. Yeah, and then David mentioned, especially during these COVID times. Yeah, I agree. So like, you know, during COVID times, guys, price will spike all over the freaking place, guys. So that's why I'm just kind of taking it as it is, guys. Hopefully you guys got out of this odd USD though, because I got out of this one. So I'm not in negative. Well, we would still be in positive, obviously, because it's in the positive, but I got out at TP2 for 40 pips. So I'm out of this trade. The only trades I'm still in are EU right here, which looks like shit, but it's whatever. If it hits stop loss, it hits stop loss. On to the next one. And this NJ right here, because I was in positive at TP2 over here for 20 pips, but I was asleep, so I couldn't close the trade out. Overall, it's fine. I'm not tripping over anything. You know, it's just, if it hits stop loss, hits stop loss. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Because I made a lot of money off this AU trade right here. So I think I made, you know, near like $600 off this trade. So I'm not too worried about that, but it'll balance back out eventually at the end of the week and the end of the month. Because if you look at our results for the week so far, or if you guys have been following, we're still net positive for all of our wins for this week. So I'm going to look at gold real quick for Blank Space. Velocity is funny because he said not to trade gold, but I'll go ahead and analyze this from scratch again. So basically the way I do this is, here's a blank chart right here. Zoom out from there. I turn on the K2 SR indicator. And then what I do is I draw my zones on the chart so that I can see where the points of rejection are. See, I'm going to keep looking at the clock, guys, because I have 5 minutes left on this candle, and I do not want to miss that US 30 trade. So let me see this. Yeah, hopefully people are buying the dip, because if they are, we're pretty much going to ride that wave up. See this right here. We got about 4 minutes left, guys. So I'll take a look in a little bit. So Blank Space, here is gold for you. I've drawn the zones right there. On top of that, I'm going to turn on the momentum indicator. And there we go. So like right here, like one reason not to trade gold right now is because, like I mentioned, all the USD pairs are being manipulated due to the COVID news that was released this morning. So you can see this huge spike right here, right? The problem with this spike is that once price starts to recover, or, you know, price starts to bounce back from that news, it can spike all the way back up, because we do have a bullish bias on this trade. You can see the most previous signal was a buy signal right here. And when it broke this structure right here, it provided for a buy entry to ride to the next zone. Because like I mentioned, price moves from zone to zone, right? Price pretty much goes from this zone, it rejects off here, to this zone, to reject off here, this zone. And it pretty much just bounces from zone to zone. So right here for gold, it's retracing down a little bit, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to continue down further to test this zone, because we don't have a sell signal. If we get a sell signal that appears like this right here, then we can anticipate this to push down and then possibly break through and continue further. However, right now we have a bullish bias because the previous signal was a buy signal. So I anticipate this to possibly recover back up and shoot up further. So I would be careful with gold right now because it's affected just like the other USD pairs. So I really wouldn't touch it because you might end up with a blown account if you end up on the wrong side of the market. Plus these huge spikes right here. This one candle was about like a 210 pip move. So unless you have a big account or you're trading, a very, very small lot size, then you might get caught up in that noise right there and you might get stopped out. They're obviously going to shake you out if you have a small account. That's what they're doing for all these pairs. They're shaking everybody out who can't uh, handle the drawdown. Yeah, exactly. I 100% agree with HL there. So HL said gold is short in short term because US dollar is getting stronger in short term as well. Just like we were just talking right now about, the COVID news, this is a short term drop. I think it's going to drop maybe a little further or maybe even stop right there. And then I think it's going to correct back up because, like we talked about earlier with HL, like we were talking about the stimulus. If stimulus comes out, the US dollar is going to be weak. Gold's going to be strong. It's going to push up further. On top of that, if COVID continues to be bad, which is obviously going to happen, COVID's not going to go away for like another year or so. It'll continue to push up as well. So, all of our analysis here, like everyone in the chat, we all kind of, blend together. So that's why I don't necessarily think you should take this trade at all. And you should definitely probably not chase this little drop because it's just temporary right now. Looking back at US 30, see, this is why we wait for the signal to close, guys, because the signal didn't close. And therefore there's no entry. We have 10 seconds left on this candle. It doesn't look like it's going to spike up from now until then. So it doesn't look like we're going to have a buy entry right now. Sorry, guys. I get like these, this coffee's like giving me like, making me burn. Blank space. Did you hear anything? Did you listen to anything I said? Because Blank Space is asking, so what do you see about gold for right now, sir? I just explained it to you, bro. Like for gold, I gave you scenarios. I gave you scenarios where it's going to come down. It's probably going to come back up. Blank Space, if you don't know how to trade, gold, I don't think you should even trade it at all because gold is a very manipulated asset and it spikes back and forth. And from your questions, it seems like you're not really experienced with trading. So the thing with gold is, I'm assuming you probably trade a small account as well. So if you enter this trade right now and it spikes around, you're going to get margin called out. I could almost guarantee you're going to get margin called out. So I wouldn't enter gold right now unless you know what you're doing. Even myself, I don't trade gold because it's a manipulated asset. Matt says 1 minute after going in depth about gold. Oh man, you're funny, man. Funny, man. But yeah, Blank Space. Like I mentioned, gold is being dropped right now because of the COVID vaccine news that's happening. So, Blank Space, do you see gold would reach 1835? 1835. Possibly. So 1835 is right here, but I wouldn't enter that because. So here's the thing. Let me just. So this is where you're trying to reach, right? Blank Space. I don't think it could possibly reach there, but I don't think it's going to because we already see this nice wick right here, right? This candle's closing in about an hour. It's probably just going to bounce around this area, go sideways for a bit. And then once, stimulus talk happens, like me and HL were talking earlier, that's going to heavily affect. So gold and any USD pair, it's going to affect it super heavy. It's also going to affect indices, but it's more so going to affect the USD pairs more because it's directly correlated to that specific asset. So like right here, it's probably going to go sideways and then it might get close to it, maybe continue and then go sideways. But then I think overall, it's probably going to correct back up once they release the new COVID numbers and once they release a couple other things that, will affect the market with regard to the US dollar being weak. And then once that happens, it's probably going to spike right back up. So I think this is a long stretch, Blank Space. I don't know where you got this number from. 1835, obviously it would be, so if we had a sell signal like this right here, I'll show you an example of when I would take it. So right here, you can see we had a sell signal, it broke structure right here, and then you could have rode this down, right? That's where I would take it. Right here, we don't have a sell signal, we have a buy signal. So I'm anticipating this little rejection right here to continue up and then continue in that direction, because even if you analyze it from like a basic, high-low perspective. So if you go right here and I identify this for you, it's obviously in an uptrend. So here's one confirmation. It's in an uptrend. So that's one confirmation that it's going to go up. Number two, we have a buy momentum signal right here. That's the second confirmation that price is likely to continue upwards. On top of that, if you look at the high lows, you can see that there's a low established here. There's a high established here, a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low right here. So what's probably going to happen here is it's probably going to continue up. You get what I'm saying, blank space? So I personally don't think, I mean, it might, I'm not going to say it's not going to, because, I never say never, but odds of it coming down this far are probably pretty unlikely. So I would be careful with that. Let me go read the rest of the messages here. Yeah, like David said that could very well, if the dollar continues to gain strength, intraday weak. He said you missed it, almost likely consolidate for the rest of today. That's what I see happening too, because after this push right here, what happens is people pull out of the market, right? Because people either get stopped out of their trade, or people just pull out because they see the market's moving all crazy. So if they see the market's moving crazy and nobody's trading, it's just going to go sideways for the rest of the day, for the rest of the week, maybe, until some other news event pushes price either up or pushes it down. And then at that point, people will hop on the bandwagon and continue pushing it in that direction. Let's see what else we got here. We have, yeah, blank space said, I already took a sell from 1865. Oh, so you made a ton of profit already, blank space, so you're fine. What I recommend you do is move your stop loss in profit. So if you made a lot of profit off that already, at least move your stop loss somewhere in profit, like right here, so that if and when it does reverse on you, you guarantee profits. Like, make sure to not leave, too much money on the table, because you never know what will happen. So we could do this right here. Let's see what else right over here. Yeah, blank space says, because if you see, sir, at 1 hour time frame, we can see a double top. So that's one thing too, blank space. Gold isn't moving based on technicals right now. Gold is moving based on news. It's news driven at this time. So let me see. You said you saw a double top here. I don't really see the double top here. I see the rejection from this point from my zones. Let's take this off. So I guess you might have seen this as a rejection point from here and from here. I do see the rejection from this point. This is where the rejection started, from up here. But like I mentioned, this big bearish candle right here, this is from the news that happened this morning with COVID. So, what happens after news is it's either going to correct back up to where it was and then move sideways from this point, or it'll continue down. So that's why I give you different scenarios, guys, because there's no one way that the market moves. The market could move in so many different ways. Obviously, it'll go majority up or down, but it can do a lot of things between it, decides that that specific direction. Blank space said, sir, do you have a Telegram group? Sir, yeah, we have a pretty big group here of, let me see how many people we got. We've got a lot of people here now. So we've grown to like 2,500 people, 2,500 people in the free group. So if you want to join blank space, just go into the description of this video, the live stream, or you can go on our website, k2trades.com. It's super simple, just k2trades and then .com. And then you'll have this right here. Just click this, unlock free access, and then you'll have access to our free intro course, and then I'll give you the links to all the Telegram groups. Or if you just want to join the Telegram groups, they're also in the info as well. So you can go ahead and grab that down below if you want to, you know, join the K2 group and trade with us pretty much every day. Because I go live every single day. So if you want to trade with us in the morning, I'm on every day at 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we do this every single morning. Let me see what else is going on here. So we got a signal for US. Wow, look at this spike up, guys. Check that out. So I was telling you guys, we're waiting for this confirmation so we can take that entry. We have about a minute left on this. Let me see what else we got here. Yeah, Black to Jerry, I just saw it right now. It spiked up like crazy. So rejection off this point, buy signal. Once we have that, people are buying the dip. Looks like people are starting to buy the dip now. So let me get my MT4 ready on my phone. And then once I have that ready, I can take this trade real quick. All right. All right, we got about a minute left on this clock, guys. I got my MT4 ready on my phone right here, ready to take this trade. So if you guys want to take the trade with us, I'm going to get this set up over here as well. Let me see, US 30 buy stop. All right. All right, guys, I got the signal ready here for the premium members. You guys are waiting for that. And then I will be sending out the FTMO parameters as well. So I got my phone ready right here, guys. I'm ready to just hit buy market when it closes. If it closes with a candle in place, you guys can just enter market with me if you like. If not, you guys can use the order type that I sent in the premium. Otherwise, I'll let you guys know. We got a countdown: 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm in the trade, guys. So I'm in the trade. Trade's live. I'm running it right now. Let me send these parameters to the group. All right, guys, I'm sending this to the premium. I'm in the trade right now currently. So, all right, let me send this out to the group, guys. Let's make this money. Man, I've been waiting for this all freaking week, guys. Let's do this. Let's see. All right. We got that all set up there. We're good. Let me get my FTMO parameters on here as well. 30, 135. Oh, wow. The price is really close, guys. So the price is super close to the normal pricing this time. So it's actually, it's about time they did that because the pricing was off for a while. All right. So I got that right there. There, stop loss right there. 75. Guys, make sure to adjust your stop loss and use the exit strategy because the way that price is moving, it could literally do anything at this point. So be careful with your position, guys. Don't like gamble everything on this one trade, because I did see some people blow their accounts on the last trade because they just over leveraged. You guys got to trade. You guys got to treat every trade like it's the same. You know, you can't go like super heavy on one versus your other trades. Sorry, guys, I got a little from that coffee. Man, the coffee makes me a little gassy. I feel like I got heartburn right now. All right, let me set the alerts up, guys. We're currently in the trade, so if you guys want into the trade, it was sent in the premium. If you guys want the parameters for stop loss and stuff, full TP plus 1500 pips. Got that set up right there. But guys, remember to use the exit strategy, guys. It's always recommended, especially during these current conditions. We'll see how this plays out. Let's see. Okay, we got TP1. This over here, stop loss. So we got this all set up, guys. Got all my alerts set up, ready to go. Now I just got to put these parameters on my FTMO. So I'll put my stop loss in 30. 29985, and my TP is going to be at 30210. All right, guys, so we're in the trade. Let's see how this plays out. I got my alert set up. We'll see how this David. Oh man. Nice. Greg's in. So I think a lot of us are in already. So everyone's in. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take a look at this later. But yeah, we're all in this trade, guys. So let me just make sure everyone knows here. Now active. Active. K2. So let's see, we got this right here. There you go. I'm just gonna send an update to everybody so everyone can see that we are in the trade. Not sure if it filled for everyone, but I'm in the trade because I entered market, so I'm just gonna let it be. So yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much about it. So let me just go through these messages real quick, see if there's anything else here that I missed. Mama Underground said Euro USD can drop to, let me see what the price is for Euro USD. Let's see, 2,250. I mean, technically it could, Mama Underground, but the problem with the same thing that we discussed earlier, guys, this drop was because of the COVID news. You see the rejection happening right now. It looks like price is starting to correct back up. So Mama Underground, I personally wouldn't follow this like little hype move right here because this move was based due to news. If you look at the US dollar overall, so if you look at all of the other US dollar assets, all these drops happen because of the news, but now it's rejecting off, the structure because people are starting to push it back up. It's probably going to correct after the news. So me personally, I don't think it's going to drop that far. I obviously don't want it to because I have an active position. So I have vested interest in that position, but just looking at the US dollar overall, that drop was made based on the news. So if the news ends up, if there's a new news event that pretty much conflicts with the earlier news, then it'll likely correct back up. So Mama Underground, I personally wouldn't bank on it dropping any further. Because see what happens here is the news happens, they drop the price. And what happens, like a lot of new traders that don't realize that this drop is because of the news, they start to piggyback on that ride. They want to enter a sell. They want to like pretty much ride this down as well. But what happens is they start to lure all these like traders that don't know what they're doing in, and then it ends up spiking right back up and stopping them out. So that's kind of what I see happening. Because if you look at the US dollar on overall analysis, it's obviously still weak, and it's weak because of COVID. And COVID's not going to go away within the next, the next day or so or the next year. So it's probably going to continue pushing up overall. But I mean, we'll see how this, we'll see how this plays out. But I don't know if it's going to drop that far. Mama Underground, and I personally don't want it to drop that far. So, because I still have my position active right now. So my position is still active. I'm in some heavy drawdown, but that's my bad because I should have not held this trade overnight like we normally do. I should have closed it when it reached like one of the TPs up here. So if you're asking me if it's going to come down, I'm going to say no 100% of the time because all my positions are going in the other one. It's funny. People always ask, what's the link for the for the room. It's like right here. Okay, so let me go through this real quick. Let's see if there's any other questions here. Kiki, we're in a buy for US 30. David, FTMO TP1 is going to be TP1 is going to be 30,210. I don't know how to respond to your question. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know how this YouTube chat works, but it's 30,210, David, if you're looking for the FTMO TP1. Oh, sorry, Ash. I did see a Euro odd question up there. I don't know if I looked over it, but I'll look over it right now. So sorry I missed your question earlier. Let me pull it up and see real quick. JJ is asking, can I use this trade on MetaTrader 4, 5, or 15 minute? JJ, your time frame doesn't matter on your broker because the price is still going to be the same regardless of the time frame. But yes, you can enter it on any platform you're using, whether it's MT4, MT5, Forex.com, or Wanda.com. You can apply it anywhere. It's going to be the same parameters regardless. And we're in profit now, guys. So it looks good so far. I actually took a smaller position on this, unfortunately. I mistyped my lot size. I took a 10 instead of a 15, which is fine. JJ, your time frame doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're on. So right here on the 10 minute, the price is still 30,150. If I go on the 5 minute, the price is still 30,150. If I go on the 15 minute, price is still the same. So it doesn't matter, JJ, what time frame you're on, because the price is still going to be the same across the board. So you can take this trade if you want. If you're applying the strategy, this strategy is applied on the 10 minute, but the entry doesn't make a difference regardless as to what time frame you're on, because it's the same thing. Okay, so let me go over and look over Euro odd for Ash real quick. Sorry, Ash, I missed your question earlier. So we'll look at Euro odd real quick. I got it up right here. And here we go. So I'm going to show you guys an analysis from scratch so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to delete everything off the chart. I'm going to zoom out from here, turn on the K2SR indicator. And I'm going to draw my zones. So I'll draw this big zone up here. Draw this zone right here. This one right here as well. And this big one right here as well. So looking at Euro odd over here, then I'm going to take that off right there. So once we have these zones lined up, we can see exactly where these rejection points are. So you can see that this support zone right here is a very strong zone. You can see it tested back in November, tested back in September, August, and again back in July. So it's been testing the same support zone a ton of times throughout the year. And even back in 2019, it looks like. So even 2019, the support zone has been strong. So if you guys have that data, you guys will know exactly, how important this support zone is. So you can see right here, it tested it back in 2019. It tested it all the way back to maybe 2018, it seems like 2018, 2017, 2016. So guys, this is a strong support area right here. So once we have that, we understand that this is a very strong area, right? That if it breaks it, it's probably going to continue down. So if it breaks it and closes below, it'll probably continue. If it rejects off it, it's probably going to shoot up to the zone right here. So that's why these zones are very important. It's the first thing I do every single time. So once I have these zones on the chart, I turn on the momentum indicator so I can determine the direction of price. And I've got it right here. So right here, we have a bearish momentum, right? Because the last signal was a sell signal. So what I'm anticipating right here is price to either reject off here or continue down, because this is how the move happened here, right? So the way that this move happened was price broke the structure and then it came down and tested the next structure down here, because price goes from zone to zone, like I mentioned earlier in this webinar, and how I do every day. So basically right here, in order for me to take a sell, I would need this to close below the zone. So once it closes below the zone, I can take a sell position and then I can let it ride from there, right? Perfectly fine. However, if it bounces off here and then I get a buy signal, then I'm going to ride this thing up. But currently right now, I have a bearish bias because the most recent signal was a sell signal. So what I'm anticipating is I'm waiting for this to break below. But like I mentioned, this zone has been tested 4 years back. So 4 years back, if it doesn't break, it's going to reject right off it, because history always repeats itself. If you look at this previous test right here, so price tested it right here. We had a buy signal, and then what happened? It pushed to the next zone, just like I was mentioning earlier right here. So if we get the rejection off this point, then we get a buy signal, then we can ride this up because it's going to test the zone and may even break past it and push to the next zone up here, right? So this is the one scenario that can play out. However, if it breaks below it, then and closes down there, we can take a sell position and pretty much ride this down to full TP. So there's two different scenarios that can play out right here. However, until we get a buy signal, I'm not going to be looking for any buys because we still have a sell bias. Once we get a buy signal, then my bias is changed. At that point, then I'm going to anticipate it to shoot up from here. But those are two different scenarios that can play out. It can either reject off there and shoot up, or it can break down here and continue down further. So that's something to look out for. This is just a key level to look at right now, Ash. So it can either reject off it, or if it breaks below it, then it can continue down further. So that I would wait for price to break the structure. The structure is going to be at 1.61446. So you can keep that in mind. If price breaks below it and closes, then it'll continue down further. And it has to close below it because you can see here, price tested the zone once right here, but it didn't close below it, right? So you get a buy signal here, and then it shot right back up. From this point, it came back down for another test, failed to break, shot right back up. Another test right here. You can see it broke price, right? But it didn't close below. So that's why you need to wait for it to close, because if you don't wait for it to close, it can shoot right back up. So it's very important that you're patient. You wait for it to close, because even though it breaks below it, doesn't guarantee it's going to continue. If it closes below it, then it gives you better confirmation that it is going to continue down. Because the last thing you want to do is enter a sell because you think it's going to break below, but then it ends up swinging back up and stops you out, right? So that's it for Euro Odd right there. There's two different scenarios that can play out. So I'd wait for it to break this structure right here before you enter a sell. Vice versa, I'd wait for a buy signal before you enter a buy and watch it push up here. So that's about it right there. So that's it for Euro Odd. Let me go ahead and go through the chat again, see if there's anything else going on. Here's our US 30 position, still in profit currently, but it's still going to be, messing around for a while. Let me check the. Looks like our Euro USD hit stop loss, guys. So unfortunately, Euro USD hit stop loss. It's okay. Took a loss on that, but no biggie. We are going to, continue moving forward. Let me just give an update here. A team, unfortunately. And I'm being 100% transparent with you guys. Like when we lose, I give you guys updates when you lose. When you win, I give you updates when we win as well. Fortunately, our Euro USD position has hit stop loss. Looks like a huge spike in price for all USD pairs due to the COVID vaccine updates regarding distribution this morning. No worries. We're still in net profit overall for the trading week and will continue to bounce back as the week continues. So I'll send this over here. Send this over to the other groups because I know there's a lot of people that want to complain and say, oh, you guys don't post any losses. The thing is, we don't lose that often. That's why losses aren't posted. If we take losses, I'll post losses. But the thing is, we don't lose that often, guys. That's why losses aren't really posted that much, because we don't suffer very many losses. Let me see what else we got here. Let's see what else we got over here. All right. So Flynn said, is there any lower support levels that our US 30 can reject and pivot off from, or just that one level? So let me go off the, check the zones over here. So there's one that's right below it. Flynn, there's one literally right here. And the next one is way down here. So we got a long way to go for that one. So that one's is probably going to be a bit irrelevant, but we'll see how that plays out. So I'm not even going to bother looking at US 30 while it's moving around, because it's just going to keep bouncing around. But there's a lot of different factors indicating a bullish move. So right here, we have the nice rejection. Also, we have if you looked at it from a bigger perspective, because this is the 10-minute time frame, it's still technically in an uptrend right now. If you look at it from there, right? There's just a lot of factors that are indicating a bullish move, especially with people trying to buy the dip, because this is a huge dip, guys. If this dip usually happens, people usually try to buy the dip somewhere around here, and then it usually pushes momentum upwards. But we'll see how it plays out. Let me see what the sentiment looks like right now. Sentiment for US 30 is 67%. So people are shifting from short positions to long positions. So that's also a plus for us. Roy's asking, Roy Christopher's asking, what's your spread on US 30? I have 200 here. Let me check mine. My spread on US 30 is, it's about 100. It's not that wide for me, Roy. So it's pretty decent. Life Plus said, could you tell me more details about K2 momentum indicator, how it works under the hood? I would love to use it. Yeah, you can use it by going on the website, Life Plus. That's the only way you can get it, because it's my indicator. So it's my proprietary code, and I'm not going to give you the secret, obviously, because it's my code. So yeah, if you would like to use it, sign up for premium, but I'm not going to give you the code, because I worked over 10 years to like develop this strategy and these codes. So I'm not just going to give you the secret that makes my strategies work, and I'm just saying that jokingly, but I did work hard to like create these indicators and the strategy. So I'm not going to just give you have the blueprint. Obviously you have the blueprint. If you want to learn the strategies, you have access to it. But if you want to go and create your own indicator, you're more than welcome. But I'm going to tell you, it's not going to be very easy. And it's going to take years and years of back testing and trial and error for you to figure something that works like this. That's, as accurate as my momentum indicator. Because if you look online, there's not very many momentum indicators. That's why I had to create it, because there's nothing else like it. You'll see a lot of trend indicators, but you won't see any momentum indicators. Oh, Lifeless. Yeah, no. So here, I'll give you an easy, so this is going to be like a generalization of how it works, right? So basically the way that it works is, let me just pull up a pair. So I'll pull up something like US 30. And I'll show you what I'm looking at, because the thing with this indicator is that I basically was able to code what I see in my head. So like everything that you guys see on this chart, I'm able to see with my own like skill by looking at the chart. So like, for example, here, let me show you, for example. So right here, let me go ahead and just rewind this over here. So you guys can see that, I mean, you guys probably can't see what I see because obviously I see things a lot differently from other people. But right here, you can see that price was coming down right here, right? So price comes down, it establishes a high, a low right here, a lower high, and then another low right here, right? So you see that it establishes, and then you start to see a shift because the previous low is right here. So price is starting to push up a little bit from this point, right? Price is starting to push up from here. What do you see right here? If you guys look at this, I obviously can see it, but can you see it? It's a bullish move up, right? You see a rejection off this point. It establishes a low off this low right here, and then it's followed by how many bullish candles. It doesn't matter how many candles there are, but it's still it's a very strong bullish move, right? So you get rejection point, some weak bullish candles followed by a very strong one, and then followed by another bullish candle. What do you think is going to happen after that? Do you think momentum is going to swing up? If you were to ask me, I'd say yes. So if I turn on the momentum indicator, check it out. I just identified that there was a momentum swing upwards, and the momentum right there has cleared up. So I can see everything from a naked chart because obviously I created these indicators. So I know the mechanics behind it and what falls into this algorithm so that I can identify this. But for you probably wouldn't be able to notice that, especially if you're a brand new trader. You don't know how to really look at charts very specifically. So this is how I would have identified that, but I put all of that into, a special code from like a lot of back testing, a lot of trial and error, where I was able to, put it on the chart so you guys can see what I see. So the thing is, the more and more you use the indicators, the easier it'll be for you to spot these. So the indicators are meant more so for like training wheels. They're like training wheels, basically teaching you what to look for in the market. So I identified structure, identified this bullish move right here of momentum, and then it was followed by a signal. So I analyzed that before I even put the indicator on the chart, and I turned it on and I showed you that, there's a signal right there. So that's pretty much how I that's just like a quick generalization of how I do it. But obviously there's more to it, because obviously I have specific parameters that I use for my algorithm, and there's stuff that other things that come into play. But this is basically what I see on the chart. And I don't know if you guys caught that, but if you did, then you'll see exactly what I'm looking at. But yeah, Life Plus, I don't know if did you understand what I meant by that, or did you see what I kind of broke down for you? It's pretty much how it works that way. Yeah, and pretty much like CT over here, it's momentum with either trend zones. Yeah, so pretty much, you're identifying like a rejection point and then a swing in direction in the other area. But there's a lot more to it. It's not just that. It's just that you'd have to have some skill with trading in order to in order for you to identify it yourself. Because I've been trading for so long, so I can just look at the chart and then I can easily just spot like, okay, there's like, rejection point right here, bullish candles, and obviously it's going to continue up, right? Same situation right here, like a rejection off the same support zone. It was followed by a nice wick bullish candle right here, followed by another strong bullish candle. So obviously this would probably continue on upwards. It's just something that comes with practice. Like even right here, you identify this low, you see it's followed by some bullish candles right here. So obviously it's going to continue up. So if I turn on the momentum indicator, you'll see that there's a buy signal right there. There's another thing right here. So you saw me identify this, right? Identified this bullish signal right there, pushed up, rejection right there, bullish signal right there, push up as well. So you guys can see that I could identify this without the indicators. The thing is, the indicators are used as like training wheels for you guys, because obviously you guys aren't on the same level as me with, with regard to trading, because I've been trading for so long that I could identify these things without even having the indicators on the chart. But obviously it makes it a lot easier because, who has time to analyze these charts from scratch when you're following like, 30-ish pairs? Like that's going to take forever for you to go and draw these up for every single pair. So instead of having to draw them up from scratch, I just turn this on, I turn this on, and there you go. You know, I have everything pretty much done for me. And I just go ahead and draw my own outlines over those specific price points and areas. But yeah, hopefully that helps, guys, and gives you, like, you know, a little background into how I created these indicators. Because it starts to get repetitive when you do something the same over and over and over again. So that's why I created indicators, to make things a whole lot easier for me, so I don't have to go and analyze things from scratch. Flynn said the pivots indicator is pretty cool. It's a great confluence to let you know the trend is still valid as long as you follow the path of the pivot. Yeah, exactly. So like what Flynn said as well, if you turn on the K2 pivots, this is another one that I created as well, because if price is above the pivots are pretty spread out and angled, you know, odds are it's going to continue to push up further until price crosses below it. And then it shifts below to this end. Price is below the pivots. They're angling all in the same direction and they're spread out. So it's going to continue down. And then vice versa. Sorry, guys, I got to sneeze. I'm going to mute this real quick. Oh, man. I hate when that happens, when you feel like you got to sneeze, but then you... There we go. Yeah, I hate when you have to sneeze and then you think about it and then you can't sneeze anymore. But yeah, guys, so, you know, a quick rundown of like all of the K2 indicators, they all cover something specific. So when I was coming up with my strategies, you know, I had to figure out what are the issues that arise with trading. You know, one issue is people can't identify trends properly sometimes. So like generally you can draw a trend, but you never really know when it's going to end, right? You have your trend set up like that, but you never really know if it's accurate or if it's ever going to end, right? So instead of having to draw my own trend lines like this, I created the trend meter down here, which you can place 4 different time frames. So if you want to see if it's trending up on like X amount of time frames, you'll just put in the time frames you want here. I have them set to the intraday settings. You can do scalping, you can do swing trading. But if it's above, if it's trending up, it'll be green down here. If it's blue, that means that it's consolidating. So that's one thing that a lot of people don't realize. That's a foundation. You know, foundation confirmations would be like trend. So that's number one. You can use the trend meter. You can also use the pivots. There's 2 different ways. Pivots will give you the real-time trend for that specific time frame. However, if you want to get the overall time frame, you'll use the trend meter down here, so you get 4 different time frames all packaged together. After that, a lot of people have trouble identifying support resistance, right? That's why I created the support resistance indicator. So we have the first one here that automatically plots support resistance for you. So you can see prices between this support resistance, and as it moves, so does the support resistance. So it automatically plots it for you. It saves you a ton of time and makes your trading way more efficient, because you guys will be able to spot support resistance without having to, you know, draw everything on here. On top of that, we have the K2SR indicator version 2. So the version 1 just has the nearest support resistance. The version 2 creates zones for you, so you can see where price generally rejects from. The problem with a lot of traders is that a lot of them can't properly identify support resistance. So this takes out all of the guesswork for you, because my algorithm can identify the strongest zones that have been plotted, you know, years back. So depending on what time frame you're trading on, you'll have a ton of different options. So if you're trading short term, then obviously, you know, you'll use the shorter zone. So like right here, I have to go 100 candles back. So it's 130-minute candles back. If I want to go farther, I can do that. If I want to go 1,000 candles back, I can do that as well. And then if I do that, they start to adjust over time. You have to give it time for it to calculate, you know, the candles way back, and then it'll update and give you, you know, a different range from there. But obviously I trade intraday, so I only want to know the closest rejection points, and then you can go in the higher time frames. Works on every single time frame. And then other than that, the last one would be the momentum indicator. So this is like the most important one, because all of our entries are based off momentum. So basically, if momentum is swinging up, we're only taking buys. Momentum swinging down, we take sells. but then there's a lot of different factors that are weighed in. Like you tie all these indicators together to determine, you know, if you should enter a trade or not, or if you should enter in this direction or this direction. And by having access to the K² strategies course right here, you guys will have a full breakdown of how every strategy is used, how every indicator is used, and pretty much all of our results for the year so far. So that's about it. That's pretty much how the indicators work. All right, let's see here. Flynn said, do your indicators repaint? So Flynn, once the candle closes, then it doesn't repaint. Obviously, it'll repaint if the candle is active, because price isn't just going to stay in one spot, right? So the price could be up here, and then it could come down within this 4-hour candle, because 4 hours is a long time. So that's why we wait for the candle to close, because once it closes, it doesn't repaint, and it gives you that full confirmation that momentum is going to continue in that direction, right? So that's why we wait for it to close. It does repaint just like any other indicator, because price isn't just stuck at one spot. It bounces back and forth. So that's pretty much how it works. Let me see what else we got here. Emma said, how much should I have in my account to start trading US 30? So yeah, David said it's recommended to use 1K. It just really depends on your broker. Some brokers require a 1K minimum, you know, capital margin, while some require much less. So depending on your broker, it'll vary, but you should definitely have at least like 1,000 if you're trading with a normal broker. Let's see if there's anything else here. See if there's anything else that's going on over here. Nothing. So it's 9:34. We will see if there are any other questions here. Let's see. Let's see, TM Sally. I think it's always crazy how people they like base their trades just off these little zones. I mean, it could be that simple, but realistically, there should be a little more that's put into that. So she's looking at NZD CAD. I guess I could take a look at that real quick. Yeah, I mean, she has a good. I mean, technically no, because if this closes below here, then I would take that sell, right? What she's looking at here is she's just basing everything off these specific price points for TM Sally. For this, she's just anticipating it to reject off it with a buy limit, but it doesn't necessarily, that's not necessarily going to happen, because the thing is it could spike right through it if she has a buy limit order ready, and then it'll just stop her out. So I'll wait for more confirmation. I'll probably answer her question later, because, or actually I could do it right now. So I can just put this. You guys can see how easy it is to identify these trades and how to analyze these pairs if you have everything pretty much planned out. You know, the whole plan about the whole thing with trading is you have to have some sort of plan. If you guys have a plan, you know, odds are to probably play out. But for a lot of people, they don't have a plan. They just want to take, you know, lucky trades. Like for here, Sally is looking at, she just thinks it's going to go up if it reaches this point. She should also look at it from the other perspective. If price breaks below it and continues down further, like right here. So I'll just send her this right here and send this over to her. Yeah, Life Plus, no problem. Yeah, it was just funny because when you asked the question earlier, because not just you, but there's other people who have been in the live rooms before, and they ask, they like literally want the code. And I'm like, bro, I'm not going to give you the code. I've like worked so hard for this code. So now that you are more detailed with your question, I'm glad it helped. Let me just send this right here. If price closes with the momentum sell signal, then we can anticipate to test the lower K2 SR zone. Price breaks below the zone, then we breaks and closes below the zone, then we can anticipate it to continue down further. However, price may also reject off. Correct. Let me see what we got here. Let me grab this over here. All right, but yeah, that was my analysis for Sally right here, because it's I just find it funny how here. Let me email Evan real quick. Just email Evan his or I'm gonna give him his premium links. He just signed up to the premium. Sorry guys, if you guys sent me messages on Telegram, you can see my messages here. I have like 14 pending messages. I got 4 text messages. I got about 100 emails to go through. But when I'm live, you know, my main focus is going to be the live trading room, guys. So if you guys have any questions, just reach out to me on the live while I'm on here. But when I get off, I will I'll be able to you know, respond to your questions after, because obviously if we're on the live, we're going to focus on this more specifically rather than, damn, look at that drop it there for US 30. It's okay. I'm not worried about it though, because like I mentioned, it's going to bounce around, guys. So I wouldn't even bother looking at it, but it might, you know, it can shoot up from here, or I can come back down, test the zone, and then shoot right back up. Because you guys have seen before that this happens all the time, or it might even just go sideways. It'll go sideways for a bit. And then once it hits 12 o'clock lunchtime, that's when you see the huge volatility spikes happen. So you'll probably see it spike up and hit our TP like it normally does. So I'm not too worried about US 30. I just looked at it right now and I saw that it was a huge spike down. But we'll see how it plays out. The thing is, they're still trying to lure people in. So if you look at the sentiment over here, it looks like, yeah, so people are still trying to hop into the short. So the thing is, you don't really want to be trading where everyone else is trading. So if there's majority of people short, odds are it's probably going to go up the opposite direction, right? Because the banks aren't going to make money if so many people are going short and they keep pushing the price down. They might push it down a little to lure people in. So they're going to lure people in this way. And then when you least expect it, it's going to spike way up and it's going to stop everyone out. Stop everyone out that's in a sell. So I'm not too worried about this, guys. Just my advice is to not look at US 30 because it's going to keep bouncing around. And like I mentioned, you know, every week, if you're watching it, you're going to get stressed out if your trade psychology is not there, where you can just pretty much let it be. But yeah, let me go through the pairs real quick because it's 9:41. We have about 18 minutes left on this candle. Once this closes, if we have any entries, I'm going to call them. Otherwise, we will see what happens from there. So let's see. Yeah, this thing dropped pretty heavy. Good thing I got out of AU. So hopefully you guys got an AU. I did take a loss on EU, which is completely fine. We're going to bounce back from that. It's not a big deal. Sorry, guys. Let's see what you got. EA, nothing there. EC. See, this would be a good entry if we had a sell signal there. So I'm just going to put a marker there so that I could come back to it. I don't want to take if it's just like that. If we get a sell signal, then yeah, I'll take the entry. But it was like we discussed earlier, a lot of these moves are based on the COVID news that was just released. So I'm not sure how long it'll continue to draw for. Same with EJ over here. Let's mark it up. Probably wouldn't be taking it though. EN, nothing there. Here's our EU right here. Yeah, unfortunately, this hit stop loss. I already called the loss for that, which is cool. we will continue to, bounce back from that point a little later. Let's see GA over here. Okay, so GA, if this closes below the zone right here, then I would take this for a short position to this next zone right here for about 40 pips. There we go. So I'll wait to see how that plays out. If it closes, then we can take it. We still have 16 minutes left on this clock. So I'm not sure if we're necessarily going to get to that point just yet. NZD-CAD, this breakage structure. I guess it kind of did. How much space is from here until down here? 40 pips. NZD-CHF over here. Let's see what else we got over here. Yeah, nothing there for NZD. Jesus, look at NJ over here. All the JPY pairs are dropping, obviously, because of the COVID news, right? So if you look at the JPY pairs, they're all dropping because of the most recent COVID news. You can see AJ's drop down. It correlates with NJ, so that's why they're both dropping right there. I'm in some heavy drawdown on that one too. But like I mentioned, guys, it's fine because all of this is news-based. GJ right here is dropping. NJ dropped because of the COVID news. AJ dropped as well. I don't know if UJ dropped. Let's check. UJ also spiked up, obviously the opposite direction. So we'll see how this plays out. I don't think I see anything else here. DoorDash opens at, DoorDash opened at 182. That's crazy. I just got an update from CNBC. I thought DoorDash got bought out, or they did probably. They got bought out by someone else. By Yelp, I think, or something. Oh, yeah, okay, so Grubhub. So they just debuted their IPO at 102, and then it spiked up to 182. You'll probably see that drop a little later. The thing with DoorDash is that it's like very high in demand right now, especially because of COVID. But we'll see how long it holds up for. It's not in a US 30 though, so I'm not really going to expect it to really affect it that much. But let me just scan through here real quick, see if there's any other entries that we could possibly take. I think that's about it. I don't see anything else here. USD CHF, it's still spiked up, but I think it's going to come right back down. I might even put a sell stop here using the momentum pullback strategy. And as it comes back down, it'll fill my order and then drop down even further. So that might be something that I might do because it worked out perfectly over here as well. If price is moving very strongly in one direction, you can use the momentum pullback strategy right here. The previous swing would be somewhere around there for about 30 pips. So if it was applied right here, it looks like it would have hit, actually the stop loss is a little higher. Stop loss would have been, entry would have been here. Oh no, okay, so this is what would have happened. Our entry would have been, our sell stop would have been right here at the low. So it wouldn't have filled until price got to this point. So if we were to do that, it'd be about 30 pips. And then pretty much right here, as price swung up from this point, it wouldn't have filled the order yet because price was coming up. And then as soon as price came down, we would have a sell stop here to fill the order. So as it came down, it would have filled the order and then it would have went straight to TP. So that's kind of the same situation that could happen here with USD CHF. If you guys are wondering what strategy this is going to be the K2 momentum pullback strategy, which would be right here. It's similar to the intraday strategy, except it's you're trading in the opposite direction. So same situation right here. If we do get this buy signal, I would probably put like a sell stop somewhere right here at the low. So even though it keeps pushing up, once it comes back down, it'll fill and then go straight to TP. So that's kind of what I see happening with USD CHF. Maybe it's something I'll call. Maybe it's not. I'll just hold up and see how this goes. All right, let me see where this is going over here. Let me look at the chat real quick, see what everyone's talking about. Let's see. Yeah, FX Choice, you can trade with something lower, but I don't think, I think FX Choice might be regulated in some areas and states, but it's not, I don't think it's US regulated. Oh, and Velocity said they don't accept US clients, unfortunately. Let's see, Black to Jerry said US 30 is still melting. HL said, unfortunately, all the US indies are in heavy sell. It will be very hard for the Dow Jones to go up, but there's still strong supports. Yeah, there's a ton of strong supports right there. So the thing is, people might try to keep US 30 above 30K. So it's got a long way to go. But there's some very strong supports right here. And there's another one right here. So it can reject at any point from these two support areas right here. So we'll see how it plays out. I mean, if it doesn't play out, it doesn't play out. But for this, we're just going to keep holding, because there's been so many times where prices come down super far just for it to shoot right back up. And I'm going off momentum here. You know, I'm not going to ride this hyped move downwards, because you can see the wicks. Look at how big that wick is. It's rejecting right off. So I'm not too worried about it, and that's why I don't watch it. So that's why I have my alerts set up right here, TP1, TP2. So I don't look at US 30 at all until I get an alert. So if I get alerted that I'm stop lossed, then I look at it. If I get alerted when I get TP1, then I look at it. But if it's moving in between here, I don't watch it at all, because it's going to keep bouncing, you know, up, down, up. It's literally just going to keep going back and forth until it decides its direction up or down, right? So that's why I wouldn't really bother with it right now, because it's just going to keep bouncing around. Other than that, I will probably keep looking at CNBC to see if there's any new news happening that could possibly affect, you know, our position. I don't really see anything else here. Let's see. Senator Warren tells Smith they discovered significant gaps in COVID testing. What do you mean by that? Oh, wow. Trump is still not giving up. He said he'll join Texas in long shot Supreme Court bid. Yeah, probably not going to happen, but we will. We'll see how that happens, how it plays out. All right, so let me see what else is going on here. So EuroCAD, this is what we were looking at earlier. I would be waiting for this to basically close below. See if there's anything else going on over here. I got a ton of questions over here, so I'll go ahead and take a look at this. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people don't use stop losses. I just saw a couple people in the group that didn't have a stop loss. I think it was Layla. Well, it worked out for some people. Like, some people didn't have a stop loss yesterday, and what happened was a US 30 that I called the day before ended up hitting full TP. So, you know, it's a bit of a double-edged sword depending on if you're lucky or not, because it can literally go back and forth in either direction. But we'll see how this plays out. I don't see any entries, guys. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like there's going to be any US entries. So we got about 7 minutes left on this candle. What I'm going to do is I'm probably going to, or actually we might have an entry here for GA. Other than that, I don't really see anything. Actually, EJ over here could No, I don't want to call it EJ because it's going to go against our NJ, even though it's dropping like fucking heavily. This wouldn't be an entry because we don't have a sell signal yet. If there was a sell signal, then yeah, it would provide for a proper entry, but there's no sell signal. So we wouldn't take that because this can literally spike up at any point since we still have a buy momentum going on right now. Yeah, sure. What's up, David? David said to measure something for. Would you like me to measure, David? I'm thinking of something funny. Is it for US 30, David? All right, GU. So you want to go to GU from, okay. And this was a huge spike from that COVID news, guys. Like that was pretty random. So he said from, okay, so from current price to 1.34 current price to David said not his lumpia. 134.526. So yeah, Dave, that's about 91.4 pips away. So it's 91 point. That's a big spike from that that news event today, guys. It's nearly like 100 pip move. So here's the thing. After this big spike move, guys, what can happen here is price can probably fill it and then correct back to where it's supposed to be. And at this point, go sideways before it decides to, you know, either correct back up or to drop back down. So nice. So David hopped in on that hype move like when the news came out. He just wrote it pretty much down. Yeah. In order to trade news like that, you really have to be paying attention. The thing is, I didn't know that there was news going on until we were live, and I wasn't able to really pull anything up because I was I was analyzing stuff. So that's nice right there, David, that you pulled that up. Just trying to see if there's any other news that could, you know, negatively affect the positions. Swiss meets US FX manipulation criteria. So what's going on here? Swiss to meet US FX manipulation criteria. So, you know, they even indicate there that there's manipulation, obviously. So let's see what else is there. Bank of Canada sticks for a loser and longer. That's about it. I don't really see any other news, you know, directly affecting the market. US 30 spiking right back up, just like I told you guys. See, it spiked up from the structure. And then I'm hoping that this closes with this invalid signal so that we get another buy signal. And then it ends up spiking all the way up, right? So that's what I mean about not really watching it, guys, because if you guys were watching it and it was super down here, you guys would have been freaking out, right? That's why I don't watch it, because you see this rejection, you're like, oh yeah, maybe I shouldn't have freaked out because it's actually coming right back up. So that's what I mean about just setting it and letting it be, guys, because, you know, I've been trading for a long time and I've seen this happen like almost every day. So it doesn't really get to me anymore when we go into drawdown, because like I know how the strategy works. I know how the price moves. So I'm not too worried if it goes into drawdown. I just let it run. And this is why we trade with a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio as well, guys. Because look, some people want to trade with like what do they trade with? Like a 1-to-2 or 1-to-3. Say if you had a 1-to-3 right here, right? You would have gone stopped out. If you had even wider than that, you would have gone stopped out. So that's why we trade with a 1-to-1, because I already understand how the range moves. You know, I've back tested this strategy 5 to 10 years back. So I know that 1,500 pips is the sweet spot for how price moves within a session. So you can see right here, price dropped nearly 3,000 pips, guys. Do you think they're going to keep letting the Dow drop more than 3,000 pips for the day on a normal day? Probably not. So that's why I see this rejection happening right here and a shot back up, because price can only drop like X amount of time, dude. Like when it's news based like this. Oh man, look at Flynn over here. Flynn over here is stacking up. He said, I just got in another buy from the rejection. See, that's like one thing you guys can do too. Like I could give you guys the range. So this is the range that I expect it to move from, but there's a lot of different things that you can, add to it. Like Flynn over here, he was waiting for price to come test the zone, right? Just like I mentioned earlier, I said it was going to test the zone and then it was going to shoot right back up, which is exactly what it just happened. So Flynn, he took that information and then he put a buy limit right here, so that as soon as it touched, the rejection point, he entered another buy, which shot him way up. So great move on your part, Flynn. You just have to really understand what you're doing. And if you guys have any questions or if there's any confusion, you guys don't understand, why do we take this trade, then just ask in the chat and I can answer, any questions you guys have. Because literally for any problem with trading, there's a solution. And most of the time, the solution is an easy fix. And you just need someone that knows what they're doing to explain it to you. But yeah, great job, Flynn. Yeah, Josh said, set and forget until you get an alert. Exactly. That's what I was mentioning before. So like I generally wouldn't watch this. I'm only watching it now because people keep freaking out. But I usually just take the trade and then I set my alert at TP1, alert at full TP, alert at stop loss. So that way I don't have to watch the trade. I just go on with my day and figure out what I want to eat for lunch, basically. So here's GA over here. It didn't break below this this zone right here, so there's no entry. Here's EJ over here. There's no buy signal, so there's no entry there either. EuroCAD didn't break the zone, and there's no sell signal, so there's no entry there as well. Let me just scan through all these real quick, make sure I didn't miss anything. AU starting to swing back up. It doesn't really look like there's any man. So this would have been a nice sell if it closed, but it didn't. So no, nothing there. EU, this is stop loss already. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna see what happens. I wouldn't be surprised if this swings all the way back up because it happens. GA, nothing there. GC, nothing there. There, GN. Looks like this right here. So we do have a buy signal. This could actually be a decent buy, but it is a risky trade to take. Let's see, 65. I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna mark this up. I'm gonna think about it and see how everything else is correlating. So it doesn't look like the pound is strong at all. It's just, it looks like the NZD is weak because none of the GBP pairs are going up. They're all going down. So there's an opposite correlation here. Let me look at the NZD pairs. The NZD does look weak though. So that's one thing. So the NZD is weak. Yeah, this is it's too risky of a trade. I'm not going to call it. I was thinking about making a late call on this, but the thing with this pair right here is that all of the GBP pairs are going down, so they're not strong. The only reason it's going up right now is because the NZD is temporarily weak. So I don't think it's going to hold. It's probably going to go sideways. And then if I call this trade, it's going to either spike up. I mean, it could go one of two ways. It could spike up or it could spike down. So this trade is too risky. I'm not going to call it because like I mentioned, I like to take trades that I almost have full certainty that it's going to hit TP or go in that direction. So here's US 30 again. Just like I mentioned, guys, it's going to keep messing around, bouncing around. But the good thing here is that we got a false sell signal here. So the next signal will be a buy signal. And if we get that, it's probably going to spike up. So I'll be leaving that alone for now. Other than that, guys, I think this is this might be about it. Let me see. Flynn said those support resistance lines are key. If I didn't see it, I'd be freaking out, but it's good to know rejection points for us newbies. Yeah, no, definitely. Those, the K2SR zones make a huge difference when analyzing a trade, because you guys can know exactly where the rejection points are and what to look out for when you're taking a trade. But yeah, guys, so I think that's about it. Unless you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I have like a ton of messages to go through today. So I got like 15 Telegram messages, I got a couple text messages, I got about 100 emails to go through that I need to check it out. Flynn said, I haven't been so happy to see a false result since my girlfriend's pregnancy test. Oh man, good one, Flynn. No, definitely. I'd be in the same boat as you as well, bro. But yeah, guys, so if you guys haven't already, please go ahead and like this video if you guys haven't, and subscribe if you guys hadn't either. Just a reminder, I do have live mentoring sessions that I hold for you guys for free. It's just that I don't send out the link. So if you guys are subscribed to the video, if you guys like the video, YouTube's going to send you an email when I go live for the mentoring session. So if you guys want to sit in on those sessions, completely free, you guys are more than welcome to sit in on them. And you guys will have access to pretty much all of the sessions that I hold with, other K2 members. One question from 7M Fanatic. So what are the parameters for US 30 calls? Fanatic, check out the premium group. That's where they're all sent over there, because the parameters are different. I'm not sure if you're trading on the FTMO, if you're trading on the regular, but there are two different ones. If you go in the premium group, they are sent right over here. So those are parameters. And then if you don't see them on there, just go ahead and pause the video and then save it. But otherwise, I think that's about it for today, guys. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out on Telegram. But I'm going to go and get back to those backed up emails from this morning. So thanks for showing up, guys. Hopefully everything plays out. Otherwise, I will catch you back here again tomorrow morning at 6:30 for the next live trading room. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you